And we are live. Welcome to the Bardic Inspiration Podcast. I'm your host, Brad the Bard. First podcast of 2021, and I have an extraordinary guest with me today. And before we get started, I just want to give a giant shout-out. If you guys like creative content such as horror and creative writing with the sci-fi genre, check out Vedinian. He's up here. All his info is in the description. What's going on, Jay?
Dude,
we just got done with your pro comp class here at Studio84.
Yeah.
And I'm glad I didn't do the whole thing because I'd be pretty beat.
Dude, let me tell you, I really, really appreciate, especially people like you who are like driving distances to come take the class. It's flattering more than anything.
Yeah, we were just talking moments ago. Like, it's funny. We had a couple people that have been on my podcast today, but one that I did not expect to be here was Jess Bermudez.
Yeah.
Who had, she drove well over an hour to be here. It is insane. You have a room that's cultivating this reputation for being like, oh, this is where the monsters lie.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? This is the dungeon where if you want to get the good training, this is where you come. And you're getting talent far and wide. You got. It's insane. Nicky Rod is leaving.
Oh, man.
I just found out.
Yeah.
So you're gonna lose one killer, but you got plenty. You got plenty more.
Plenty more. Him leaving for Puerto Rico. Obviously, you know what I mean. He needs to be there. That's where he's going. He had to be. But I'll tell you, it was nice having him. The whole squad moved. What was it? December, right?
Yeah, somewhere. That's when I found out. I actually had.
Oh no! Did they move in November? Was it November or December they moved? Yeah, it was November because I was in Disney. They had already done the move and all that.
Yes.
Yeah. So, having Nick here all, some in November, all December, all January, was so good for this competition class because this competition class was still really good before Nick started coming by. But I think what he was able to show the core group of people was how hard you have to work. And honestly, I learned that from him on the fly.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like when he first started, and not to like start
no, please,
but
that's what we're here for.
Like when he first started, he didn't know anything. But he knew that he wanted to be really, really good at this, right? Great at this, And when you've coached only at the local level, to have somebody like him that starts really shining bright, you realize that, man, he's not going to be able to get everything he needs out of this room. Like when you start and you're already beating up people, and this is a problem that really good competitive females have too, is getting that, being able to match that same for same going back at them. And I immediately started trying to. I was sending him to Precision a lot at first with Dylan Royce. And Rob Shire out there to train with those guys. James Booth was a huge part of his growth with the Myers brothers over there.
That's my lineage right there.
Yeah,
baby.
yeah. So, that room, you want to talk about a savage room. When the what's the name of the place Booth teaches at? Not the Henzo Gracie Philly, the other one in the Northeast in Trevose.
I believe it's called House of Arts.
No. It's
I know. I can't.
Okay. I've been there. Oh man, I feel so bad that the name is.
I can shoot from the hip with all the random Phillies.
But I'll tell you, it was James Booth would teach there, and it would be Booth, Nick, the Myers brothers, Big Zoo, Annual, the Cage Fury fighter, just a bunch of big monsters. And you'd go in that room and you'd be like, oh my God, if you were a regular person that walked in, you'd be scared to death and walk right out like they're trying to kill each other. But then he's driving there. He's driving to or driving out to King of Prussia, driving out to Trevose. Then once we got him hooked up with the Death Squad, Gordon and John, now he's driving to New York. And I started realizing that, there's so many good wrestlers, collegiate wrestlers in jiu-jitsu. Ed Ruth,
of course,
phenomenal wrestler. Nick's first loss came to Hudson Taylor, who was, I think he's a top 5 pins in NCAA all time.
Yeah.
And he beats Nick by a couple points. So I was realizing that it's not so much that he wrestled and he was pretty good at wrestling, because it wasn't like he was a state champion, even, collegiate. He did really, really well, but it was 1 year college. It was his work ethic. Don't get me wrong, he's special.
Yeah,
he's talented and all that, but if he didn't work as hard as he did, clearly he wouldn't be where he was at. Now, granted, being around the right people and having that definitely helped mold. Of course, yeah. But what it did show me was that if you have the right mindset and your body can keep up with it, and you're willing to do what it takes, and that's finding the right rooms to train at.
Driving hours a day.
It doesn't matter if you wrestled. It doesn't matter what you did. I find that you get very good competitive people out of ex-football players and soccer players as well.
Yeah,
strong legs. Yeah, I've had a success with soccer players too. Weird, right? Doesn't seem like something.
I believe this is an interesting question I had with a black belt a couple months ago, where I was talking about where I came from, right? So before jiu-jitsu, one of the main sports I was doing is ultimate frisbee. I don't know if you've ever heard of that.
Of course I heard it. Yeah.
But he was saying it makes sense, because I was saying like something that I find that some people have glass ankles. You know what I mean? But me, I find that I have good leg lock defense. I'm not saying I'm one of the greats.
Yeah.
But I'm better than the average cat. And he said that's interesting. And he was saying how he credits a lot of things that he's good at to his gi game is ridiculous.
Yeah.
My friend John Naples, actually. I'll name drop him. Yeah,
John Naples awesome. Yeah.
But we were rock climbing, and he was saying his grip strength because of the rock climbing, it's hand in hand. I'm like, that's so funny. It makes sense that those things, it all adds
strength,
up, man.
all that,
it all matters.
Yeah. But again, the work ethic,
of course,
is what is going to separate you from the rest. And the thing that was so great about having Nick around for the last 2.5 months was everybody realizing he's this good because he works at it every single day.
Yeah, and he's the last one to step off the mat. Every time I've been here with him in the room, I took notice. It made me first time I remember I was kind of getting ready to go, and I saw he was still on the mat. I'm like, I feel like a whole bum right now. So it's awesome that I actually got to roll with him. I didn't know he was leaving so soon.
Yeah,
I'm glad I did get to roll with him. Dude's a tank.
He is. I don't think people really realize how good he is until you roll with him, and then you're like, oh my god.
Yeah. I said to him after we rolled, I'm like, I can't believe how fast you are for how big you are. It doesn't
like
doesn't
a
make
cheetah.
sense. Yeah, like a cheetah.
You know what I mean? Like that thing chasing you. You're like, oh my god,
dude.
It's gonna catch me.
He was grabbing my ankles, like he ankle picked me from I was standing and he wasn't. I was like, dude, how? Insane.
Now, also, you look at how much he's helped guys like a guy like Steve Joachim, right? With the stand-up game. Again, it's you want to know what's funny is Steve always knocks the wrestlers, and he's probably going to comment on here knocking the wrestlers, but he does very well against wrestlers. He takes wrestlers down. Without having somebody like Nick to roll with, you know what I mean? And seeking out. And listen, before the squad left, Steve had made the transition to Henzo's, you know what I mean? Where he was starting to go up there multiple times a week now, and that's the progression. And man, I understand completely why they went there and all that, but for them guys, you saw the difference almost immediately. Of how good they were getting just by doing 1-2 days a week up there. So really, when you can surround yourself with the right people, it takes sacrifice, because unfortunately everything is spread out. But I will say we're lucky in this area to have so much good talent that was so derived right from this area. That it just really helps. But man, Nick being able to be here to show everybody the work ethic, I think is what the biggest impression that he left on everybody here was, if you work your tail off, you can accomplish something. You know what I mean? You can accomplish what you want. And it's not easy. You know what I mean?
Absolutely not.
If Steve will tell you, Steve told me today when he was, Steve's ribs been bothering him a little bit, and he said, he got a call or message from Nick saying, hey, I know it hurts, but let's go. You know, get up here. Let's
How
do it.
thirsty are you for it?
Let's do what we can do. And it's funny because a similar thing, and it's funny because it's almost the same kind of thing that happened with Nick, where he had first started going up there and training with the squad, and Gordon had either voice messaged me or text me. I think he was voice messaged me, and he said, he goes, I'm going to tell you, he goes, Nick's doing a great job up here. He goes, if there was one thing I can have you relay to him, it's to not take rounds off. To when you're tired, that's when you need to be training the most, because that's when we're going to learn how to really do jiu-jitsu, is when we're tired.
Yes.
When we have to keep going. He said no matter if he knows he's going to get his ass kicked, do the round. Do the round. Never take the rounds off. And I'm going to tell you, when I told Nick that, I have never seen him take a round off since that day.
That's
never.
Awesome.
When he's done training, he's done training.
Yeah.
But as far as a round off, let me get a breather, never.
Yeah.
It's just constantly throw the next toughest guy at him, throw the next toughest guy at him, throw the next toughest guy at him. So, like I said, I learned so much from him as far as what it takes to be a good a world-class competitor. So I can relay that to people. And listen, it's not like I'm making up technique here. It's not like I'm straight up. I watch DVDs and I watch live matches. You know what I mean? I learned everything by watching what actually wins in matches. And again, I'm talking about on a competitive level.
Yeah.
Hobbyist, whole different animal. Yeah. Go learn, have fun, do ghee, no ghee, whatever makes you happy, do. I'm talking about competitor in winning, and I can relay how to win. I can tell you exactly what's going to work. I can help you game plan and tell you how to beat people. But bottom line is, it doesn't matter what I say. They have to be the ones that put in the work. Absolutely. They have to be the ones, I only teach a few times a week. The rest of the time is them getting together and training every day and working hard. And we got a group of people who are see the results, who see. Now, granted, too, they got to be with Nick in the beginning and see what it was like for him to go from, man, we're just training at 6 a.m. and this kid's doing pretty good, to, now he's taking second at ADCC. He's ranked top 5 in the world. He's, doing all this. We were just together in a 6 a.m. class, you know what I mean? Just seeing if we could do this. And now that we, know it works, you see the success that people are having. And again, none of them got jobs. None of them, most of them teach or do something like this for a living. So, but it works, man. If you have the time and you can put it in, and also that's not to say that if you do have a full-time job, you can't do this. But man, you're gonna have to sacrifice for sure, because these athletes are just getting so good, so quick, man. Yeah. So good, so quick.
The content's out there for anyone that wants to learn, too.
It is. It's time consuming. It is extremely time consuming. When people ask me what I watch, I mean, listen, if I'm going to sleep, The Office or Food Network is on to put me to sleep. But if I'm watching something, dude, it's more than likely live competition or an instructional.
That's awesome. Do you feel like when there's someone that's gifted in the room with that work ethic, or whether it's like, some sort of potential or a skill in one specific thing, like I'm sure you've been in plenty of rooms where you've seen like countless world-class athletes.
6, 7 world champions on the mat at once at a 6 a.m.
Yeah. But what's crazy is it seems like you're born and raised in Jersey, I'm assuming, right? What is it about the tri-state area, man? There's killers here.
It is.
I feel like the best athletes in BJJ are here. Like, if they're not in California.
Born here. Like, figure this. Just take a 50-mile radius of just current born-raised. Gordon, Gary Tonin, Frankie Edgar, Nicky Rod, Mikey Musumeci, Tom DeBlas. All right, I just rattled off 6 who is definitely not it, that were born and raised in Jersey.
Yeah.
For that collection of talent to just become, and listen, dude, Gordon didn't wrestle. Gary wrestled in high school. DeBlas was like track and field. Nick wrestled a little bit. It's not like these guys are superior athletes and we're producing superior athletes, dude, and we'll probably get flack for saying this, but I just think we're just tougher. I don't know what it is. I don't know if it's our attitude, but we hate to lose more than we like to win. And it's a driving force. The biggest thing that you see from people that come out of Jersey is heart. You know, you watch Gary Tonin matches, and it's ridiculous. They're the most exciting matches you've ever seen. You watch Frank Yeager fight. You got to shoot him to beat him. You got to kill him to beat him, you know? I don't know, man. It's a grit. It's a toughness that Jersey's got, and it's hard to explain because, again, like I said, we just rattled off a bunch of wrestlers. I think Frank Yeager might have taken second in states, and he did wrestle collegiately. But, again, he's not an NCAA champion or anything like that. Yeah. So you're not talking people with a pedigree already behind them. It's work ethic that's behind them. It's a blue-collar working, blue-collar working people who
What do you think it is that can like? I'm from PA, right? I'm a casual. Like I'm not a world-class jiu-jitsu athlete by any means. But how can I find that and harness that I want to win or like what you said?
I don't think that's something you learn. I think it's something you're born with. It's just in you, and I think it's something that probably because if there was a website that sold something or an app, I'd probably get it right now.
Yeah, it's funny. There's certain things that pull on me to like get me ready. Like it's funny. I to name drop someone that I had this conversation similar with Frank Rosenthal. I was asking him, how do you get ramp up for like a competition? Because for me, like as a hobbyist, I'm worried about my podcast. I'm worried about guitar, writing music, doing all these other things before I do jiu-jitsu. But when I'm competing, like the weeks leading up, it's like, all right, man, I'm listening to David Goggins. I'm like, I'm putting on all my favorite metal albums, like whatever it might be, and that's how I get into the headspace. Yeah. But he said, there's no change in my habits. I train to win. Like I train how I'm going to fight, and that's why he doesn't have to worry about the adrenaline dumps or anything. So interesting how the mindsets can be so shifted and tuned in. The
more you compete too, the easier it becomes. I know everybody thinks that. And it's very true. It's the more comfortable you are getting out there too. Now something also that I push with the specific competitors in here is let's prioritize what our goals are. You know what I mean? Like people like Steve and Justin and Sophie, right? Like their aspirations are to be ADCC champions. Okay, so listen, if that's your goal, if ADCC is your goal, then know that everything else we do is just practice. I'm not trying to be the best Naga fighter ever. I don't care about gold medals, a good fighter, whatever. It's all that is prep work. Is it cool to get gold medals? And for sure, it's going to help us. It's going to help us with sponsors. It's going to help us with social media. It's going to help us with all that. But understand that it's just part of practice. Yeah. That I don't care about that. Our goal is ADCC. Now, there's other people that in that competition class where their aspirations aren't ADCC, where their aspirations are Naga. Well, okay, then let's take it maybe not as serious because you got a job and everything like that you have to do, or you have to do in the day. But then let's attack it like that's our main goal. Like let's figure out where the goal is. You know what I mean, of what you want to do and work on it from there.
What put you in the position to become like a coach in the first place? Like I'm wondering how you went. Like let's kind of talk about.
It's a cool story that I never really get to talk about. Sip real quick.
Yeah, take your time.
Let me see if I can do this whole thing without breathing. So, I started teaching. I started training in 2006. I started teaching right after I got my blue belt in 2008, beginning of 2008. And I taught.
And where were you?
South Jersey Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. Okay. Yeah.
And
I still teach
there now.
Yeah, 6 a.m. classes I teach there. And started teaching the teen class. I competed. But during that time, there wasn't nearly as much as there is now.
Of course.
Yeah. Not even remotely close. There's pretty much the Good Fight and Naga and IBJJF. Other than that, I can't even really think of something else that was really Grappler's Quest. Sorry, Grappler's Quest.
Oh yeah,
was around there at that time too. So I would compete here and there, and I would do well. Again, I only trained 3 times a week, maybe. And I was good. I'd be the best one in the room training. But when it came to competition, I would do really well. You know, I've won a few gold medals, but I'd always make the podium. Anyway, so I liked competing, but I really liked helping people prepare to compete, okay, physically. So up till my neck injury at brown belt, the classes were more people were coming in not to take my class, but to train with me. The leg lock guy that's with me all the time, Luke Zeman, he was one that came down. Leon Jackson, I would come down a lot. I would go up to train with Professor DeBlas when he was getting ready for ADCCs and stuff like that. So I was getting people coming in to train with me.
Yeah.
Which was really cool. You know what I mean? Flattering. Loved the workout. You know what I mean? I always felt like I did better than I did in competition. So it was really cool for me.
Yeah.
When I got hurt, and I knew that no matter what, it was going to be a year before I got to do anything.
What was it? What
so
happened?
My knees were a little sketchy, a little shaky, just growing up being, you know, a catcher, playing football, stuff like wrestling my whole life.
Yeah.
But the rest of my body was pretty good. One shoulder injury, but man, I had gotten a guillotine. Literally, I was teaching day class. I would teach at 6 a.m. train, then have an open mat at 11 to 12, then have teach a class, then have another ghee open mat for like 45 minutes, then stay, teach at night, train at night. I mean, I was teaching and training a ton. 11 o'clock open mats, just three of us there. Literally put myself right into a guillotine, like right off the bat, like 15 seconds in, and I like tried to escape. It was an arm in, same side.
Oh yeah.
So I pushed my elbow out, sat through, and I literally, man, my disc literally blew right out the back. Felt the pinch, heard it happen. It was about 4 hours later that it went drastically wrong, and pieces of my disc were laying on nerves. So I was crying. Like by the time I got to the hospital, I was literally crying in pain. 3 shots of Dilaudid, and I was still in pain. It was crazy.
What the hell,
but it was bad nerve damage, and I was losing my left arm. So that from the time it happened till surgery was like 3 months. Like, it happened really quick. Plate, 2 screws, done. I can't do anything for a year. You know what I mean? I have to stay off it. So I started teaching the next week, a week after I got out of the surgery. Dude, I had a neck brace. It was for like a month that was here. I couldn't move. Teaching class Nogi with the neck brace on for like the first month.
Yeah.
Looked pretty crazy with people coming in. But when I realized that I couldn't physically do this for a year, I really started focusing on the competitors that were coming in and in the room and just teaching in general. I want to say the first time we really started prepping for something was Amanda Levy was getting ready for EBI. I want to say that was the first thing we ever really started using the 6 a.m. sessions and Saturday sessions was to prep her for EBI. She did awesome. You know what I mean? It was really cool to have her. You know, Amanda at that time too was already a 3-time world champ at that point, at blue belt or at purple belt and brown belt. So helping her prep for that was really fun. Then there was the finishers event that came up, and I ended up having Felicia and Amanda did it too. So we got to prep for that. And as it's happening, you started having more and more people being like, man, I think I want to compete. You know what I mean? And started doing more tournaments, more super fights. And I really started trying to put focus on some of those people because I really enjoyed it. I enjoyed the game planning. I enjoyed prepping for it. I enjoyed being very specific about the training. And enjoyed the rooms. And, yeah, man, it started Amanda was definitely the first one to really come in and do some things.
That you kind of, like,
helped out. Yeah, dude, she was amazed. She was, like I said, she was a 3-time world champ.
When she
I helped her with some overtime stuff. I don't want anybody to take it the wrong way. She was she was herself way before she met me. And then it was about 3 years ago now, probably almost 3 years, was when Nick came in, man. And So, when I tried to start going back to training, it was really difficult because of the nerves in my shoulder. Were just very, very vulnerable to any kind of framing and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Even demonstrating techniques with a gi where I had to grip. That's what I'm saying. It was wearing a gi, pulling on my shoulders just with the gi hanging would irritate my shoulder, and sleeping was becoming a problem. And so that's when I literally just stopped wearing gis just because it was annoying me, and had to take different approaches with teaching. So I want to say it was about 2 years after my surgery that I realized I probably wasn't even going to be able to grapple anymore. So when he came in and when all this was happening, it was such good timing because it really let my focus stick to the competitors. And when he came in specifically, it was like, man, this kid's good. And he started competing 3 weeks after he was training. I mean, basically we taught him a knee cut pass. He understood an arm bar, but teach him how to get to the back, teach him how to do an arm bar correctly, you know what I mean, and key lock, Kimura. It's really all he needed to get by for the first 3 or 4 months. But he literally started competing like 3 weeks after he started training, and that's when we had to talk, and we were like, dude, I know this sounds crazy, but there's this tournament. It was the East Coast Trials, and at that moment, it was only 5 months away.
Yeah.
And I said, I know this sounds crazy, but the tournament to get into the biggest Nogi spectacle in the world is in 5 months. And I'm not going to lie, I think you can win it, man. And he's like, dude, if you think it's a big deal and you think I can win it, tell me what I need to do. I'll do it. And it was at that moment that I had to start pushing him around and finding places and started bringing people in. And that's
you
when
were having him cross-train at other locations.
Immediately. Had to. It was... For somebody that has that goal, if you're a coach and you know you can't offer him everything that he has, for you to not use your whatever contacts you have to help them, to me, is selfish. I get some people want to say, hey, it's homegrown. He came to us. We can do this. We can do it. That's cool and everything, but I just have a more realistic approach where if this kid wants to get to this goal, I can help him there. Or I can be selfish and say, look what I got. It's this, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I thought, man, this kid, he can do this. And when I saw the work ethic, when I saw he's willing to drive the King of Prussia, he's willing to drive, out to Trevos to these places.
I'm sorry. What was it about? Maybe not even him, but you've been coaching for longer than I've been training.
Yeah.
So I'm wondering what is it about a person that makes you go, this is a diamond that I have here. You know what I mean? Versus the sea of other gems. You're like, this one's special.
It's funny. You have so many people that come up to you and say, dude, I want to compete. I want to compete, and I want to be this. I want to be that.
Yeah, I hear it all the time.
I don't teach at awkward times, not that I don't teach, or I teach at awkward times, but 6 a.m.s or where I'm at, or I'm here, which is, I mean, not gonna lie, this is pretty distant from cities and stuff like that, from Philly, from South Jersey. This is a 45-minute ride, hour ride out here, so I know it's not convenient. But the people who say that, and I say I can help you, and I say, but I'm here at these times. If you know what I mean, if you want my help, show up these times. And those people that do that, they have my undivided attention. If you're willing to put that time in, I'm willing to put the time into you. And those people who sacrifice and try, listen, even Nick's little brother Jay.
Yeah,
bro, they live in Clayton. This is their everyday school, and they're over an hour drive.
Yeah,
for their everyday school. They're passing 10 academies on the way here.
Yeah,
that they can absolutely stop in and just run through most of them with all due respect.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But they choose to be here. For that, If you need me to fly to Florida to be in your corner, I'm going to fly to Florida to be in your corner. If we need to specifically game plan for this match so you can win, we're going to specifically game plan. If we have something coming up, I'm going to tell you, hey, because even when these specific people are doing tournaments, like I'm on Smooth Comp picking what division they need to be in so that they're getting the best competition, looking up the opponents who's, I'll do as much as I can, but when you say, what do you see in somebody who's a diamond in the rough, it's brought out when they just keep showing up, and I realize that
the grind is kind of what shows
the grind is
you.
difficult, man.
Yeah.
This isn't an easy sport. There isn't a ton of money in this sport unless you're that top elite level. But I think when you see what those top elite level guys' lives are like. Listen, tell me one ADCC champ that lives a lifestyle that's poor and not that money is everything or anything like that, but every ADCC champ that I can think of is a successful person.
Yeah,
and I think that if you make it that goal to get yourself to that platform, like man, the hardships and the difficulties that you're going through in training and driving and cutting weight or lifting or eating when you know what I mean, eating at midnight because you have to get your protein in, lifting even though you're sore because you need to do this, stretching, like it makes you a tougher person. It makes you it hardens you, man.
Yeah.
And that's why they're few and far between. That's why you can have white belts and blue belts who can run into an advanced class and smoke a bunch of black belts. Hey, could I have them run a seminar? Definitely not. You know what I mean? Definitely not. But give me the dude that's running the seminar and let me see how they do against these guys.
Yeah, the athletic gifts
different.
They make a difference.
And again, it's because that's their goal with this. You know what I mean? That's their goal. Their goal isn't to be the best teacher that's ever lived and owned a school. It might be their goal later, but it's not their goal right now. You know what I mean? So, yeah, when you say that diamond is them. You know what I mean? It's them polishing themselves and doing all that. Like I said, I can give you information. Is all I can give you is information and maybe vision or direction. But the work, that's all them. And I don't think that they get enough credit. I think coaches, they give coaches a lot of credit, but I don't think people understand how difficult the work is to put in. If you've listened to Danaher's interviews he's done before, he'll tell you like Gordon is gifted, but he's so successful because of how hard he's worked. There is no vacation. There is no days off. There is no, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like I said, since Nick has been, Nick was here for that 2.5 months, bro, they train every day. Every single day between 11 and 2, they're here. They're here getting their 40 minutes, their hour and a half in of live training, going home and getting ready for the next one. Lift, eat, get ready and do it. They're not out partying. They're not out drinking. We're probably the biggest collection of dorks that I know.
Yeah, straight edge. Just getting after
we
it,
don't
man.
do anything.
Yeah, it's crazy, man. And it's so funny when you end up in a group of people that are normal folk. And you're like, yeah, casually, what I do for my entertainment is I try to strangle my friends to death.
Literally, I try to kill them.
Yeah, exactly. But we have a comment here. Wrestling is fake.
Steve.
Yeah. All right, so we have a question from who I can only assume is Steve. Who is your favorite, and why is it Steve?
This is why I love Steve so much. This is why I love my crew. What's funny, too, is what was the fight to win we were at? We were all at a fight to win. I can't remember if it was the one Steve did. Anyway, they were all saying, do we want to go out after? I can't remember. For some reason, I feel like Gary Tonin was there, too. Where were we? Anyway, I think it was a fight to win. I feel like Gary Tonin was there.
His most famous fighter.
And he was, and we were all saying that we were going to go out after, and it was some bar. And I look at him like, you guys want to go? And Steve and Justin are both like, dude, we're not 21. And I'm like, oh my God. That's right. Like, I forget that all my friends are like half of my age.
Yo,
literally, most
so,
of the people that I associate with
so
are like
crazy,
half my
man.
age, and I don't even realize that I could sit and be with them for hours and hours and hours.
Yeah.
And the age discrepancy never—it's that common.
There's something about jiu-jitsu, man. It is wild that we could have such crazy different backgrounds, and it's just like the fact that we do this intimate thing where we're trying to really injure the shit out of each other.
Cops and stoners,
on
the jiu-jitsu mats, absolutely love each other.
Dude, it's
right?
insane, man. It's insane, and I met some of the coolest people through jiu-jitsu in like the last year.
Yeah.
Like when the pandemic hit, it's crazy how this group was like, I need this.
Yeah.
And you saw these, open mats just popping up everywhere, man. Just like these underground fight clubs.
Yep.
It was insane. And, man, it changed. I remember, like, I was depressed when I lost my job. I'm like, fuck, dude, I don't know what I'm doing. A buddy of mine was like, hey, man, we got the basement. We're throwing mats down. You're more than welcome to come. Like, I haven't seen you in a while.
And they just opened up a school, right?
They did.
Yeah.
Matt DeVore's guys, Ambush Jiu-Jitsu.
Ambush, yeah.
Perth.
I'm a fan of him, man. He's talented, man.
Yeah, man.
And that's a dude who's been in this. I don't think people. Matt's been around for a bit, man.
Dude,
I remember. I feel like I've been calling matches for him for quite a few years now.
Yeah, it was funny. He told me like you said his name wrong. Like,
I probably killed it.
So did I though.
Yeah,
His name is spelled wildly different than how it's.
So
pronounced.
Can you say it?
DeVore, but it's
DeVore,
spelled DVOROVY.
I know that there's two together. Yeah,
it's crazy, man. Yeah,
but hey, Matt, know that I love you and I enjoy your jiu-jitsu.
That's awesome, man. Yeah, man, it's crazy that I all these leg lockers I met last year, and then that kind of brought me. Well, I met Guy actually at one of these events. That one. That picture right there. That's where I kind of met Guy, and like I had followed him on social media, and I was kind of just a big fan. Like I saw that like he was awesome. Grappling shirtless.
Yeah,
I'm like, that fucking Hulk tattoo is epic.
That Hulk tattoo is ridiculous. I was like,
dude, this is kind of my favorite guy right now. I'm not gonna lie. I hadn't even been training at the time. I remember it's funny. One of the guys in my gym gives me shit because I was like the announcer guy for that fight, and I didn't know shit about jiu-jitsu, and I'm like, winner by leg choke. Like I said for one of them, because like the guy said something, he said no triangle choke, and I'm like, well, no one wrote it for me. Like I was so bad. After that, I'm like, all right, I'm gonna start training, and I'm never gonna make these mistakes again. I fell in love with it ever since, man.
That's cool. Guys, a class act. Yeah, best.
Man.
Yeah, man.
But yeah, man, we went off on some crazy tangents here. Let's kind of come back to so you started at the South Jersey school, got that injury, and then you started kind of coaching and stuff.
So
and when did you kind of realize that you had like an eye for stuff? Because I feel like, dude, you can. I remember when the first time I trained here, I asked you, I'm like, hey man, like who's a good person to roll with? Like I'm a blue belt. And you had suggested like a couple guys, and I rolled with them. It was awesome rolls. A testament to the people in this room.
Yeah.
Everyone here is an incredible rolling partner. You could say like, "Hey, I'm like kind of fucked up. If you want to go kind of light, you're still gonna have an amazing roll, man."
Yeah, a lot of talented people in here. Dude, again, I don't even know if it's like I don't think I could even give myself much credit here. I think if you have a room that challenges people, which the 6 a.m. at South Jersey Jiu-Jitsu pre-pandemic might have been one of the toughest rooms on the East Coast on a consistent basis.
Yeah.
I'm not even lying. Just like I'm saying, there's days where there's 6 world champions on the mat, like tough adult world champions on the mat. And it attracts people. And when it starts, one thing that it did start doing was started attracting some wrestlers, right? And when the wrestlers came in, like you thought, man, because again, I didn't realize how much the work ethic was until Nick. And then you realize that you can even be a great wrestler, but man, if you're not willing to wake up, you're not willing to do the drive, you're not, you know what I mean? It's not. So that's what I'm saying. Like, it's the dedication, man, because like I said, this, a guy like Steve, he's a football player. Justin, I don't even know. Justin, I'm sorry, I don't even know if he did anything else in you know what I mean? But the kid is one of the toughest kids I've ever met. We had another kid who's run into some running some bad misfortune, but he wrestled in college with Nick. His name was Andrew, and again, he wasn't a national champion or anything like that. But honestly, before his health problem, I mean, man, he was right on pace to. He had won like 16 to 20 matches straight in expert divisions as a white belt.
What?
Beating black belts and
Must
like
be nice.
Convincingly.
Yeah. Do you think it was like an athletic gift that was that, or
it helps?
The instruction?
The athletic gift helps, and again, I don't want to misconstrue that.
Yeah.
I'm creating these things. All I'm doing is here's what I'm doing. I'm taking somebody who is semi-athletic, at least semi-athletic, who has a drive and a passion and is willing to work hard, and I'm showing them exactly how to win. Okay? Exactly what you need to avoid, exactly what you need to focus on. Could any of my the competition guys I work with do a scissor sweep? Probably not. They probably wouldn't even know what it is. But you know what? They're probably never going to have to do one. Do they know what a stacking guard pass is? No, because I would never put them in that situation to go out there and try a stacking guard pass and get triangled by somebody more experienced than them. I go right to, we need posture, we need inside control, we need to get to the feet, we need to get open, and then this is how we're going to attack specifically the De La Hiva, specifically reverse De La Hiva, specifically X guard, specifically this. So imagine that from the moment you started jiu-jitsu, somebody gave you an exact answer to each problem that you were going to see and how to avoid people's strengths and what they need to do, right? Like butterfly guard. If we're competing against somebody who's got a good butterfly guard, why am I staying in butterfly guard? I'm going to stand up and I'm going to pass from the feet. Different things like that, where it's not so much he doesn't know how to do anything, he doesn't know how to do any passes from butterfly guard. But listen, if I can't get to the body lock, why am I staying here? Am I going to have him do over-unders and possibly have his leg trapped because they were able to elevate his hips? No, stand up.
So you're kind of training them with the mindset to give them tools to have better common sense.
Correct.
Sounds like even. That's
a complete map.
Yeah,
a complete
dude.
map to this is exactly what we're going to do from these exact situations. I'm not giving you 10 options. I'm going to give you what I feel is the one or two best options from each situation, and let's work on it that way with the simple principles of posture, hand fighting, grip fighting, like those simple things that go on top of it. But again, it's not like they have an arsenal of 7,000 moves. No, we're very specific on how we pass. We're very specific about trying to get to the back to attack the consciousness more than anything. And again, it's because of how these people are competing. It's going to be much easier for somebody to get out of an armbar, a higher percentage for people to get out of an armbar than it is to get out of a rear naked choke. So I'm not going to spend nearly as much time teaching an arm lock as I am on how to get to the back and finish. Especially with a competitor.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I'll spend a little bit of time, but the last thing that I want somebody like Steve doing is from the mount position is doing a cross-side arm lock. That could possibly end him on the bottom position in a plus 99 kilo division. Don't want him on the bottom of them guys.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? We're in the mount.
It makes so much sense, man.
You know what I mean? Let's trap to get to the back. You know what I mean? It's and again, I'm talking about competitors, hobbyists. Do your thing, have fun. This is specifically what these guys are going through. This is the process in which they're going through. And on top of it, they're trying to do these techniques against Nicky Rod, against John Combs, again, you know what I mean? Like ADCC competitors, so you're seeing that, how difficult it is to do it against some of those guys. But then once you start to see them start to do it against other just regular people in the room or other competitors, and you see the technique working and you see how easily they're getting by. Dude, Jay Rodriguez has one of the best body lock passes I've seen. He's a 4-stripe white belt. He's been training since October. He's only a 4-stripe white belt because he went to American Nationals and we put him in as a blue belt. With he had 5 weeks of training, and we put him in as a blue belt. He wrestled in high school. Yeah. Jay's 18. He just graduated high school this year. Sent him to American Nationals with 5 weeks of jiu-jitsu. Again, he wrestled for sure, not collegiately in high school. 5 weeks of jiu-jitsu. Sent him to IBJJF American Nationals as a blue belt. wins his first match by submission, getting to the back, choking people out or choking them out, and then lost by points in his second match. So, like, to do that with somebody in 5 weeks. Oh, and we had him do heavy. So we had him do the 208 division, and I believe he weighed in at 190 or 187, 185, something like that.
Yeah. That's insane, man.
Yeah. to be able to do that, and like I said, man, with, like, body lock passing and stuff like that, like, I don't know, like, I don't, and here's the thing, too. It's not a knock on instructors. Jiu-jitsu has changed drastically. I at least Nogi. No, ghee jiu-jitsu. Look what Keenan has done with ghee jiu-jitsu. Look at Mikey Musumeci, the Meow Brothers, man. Look what they've done with gi jiu-jitsu. They've completely evolved it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? To say that it's not evolved is insane because of the amount of lapel guards and you know gripping sequences and the evolution of the berimbolo.
Absolutely, dude.
There's so much evolution that has gone on, and it's not. You know, it's not easy for a school, you know, an instructor to now say, all right, I got to change the whole curriculum to keep up with this, and this.
Yeah.
So I think that a reason that people get attracted to this class is they're seeing techniques maybe they're not seeing because the curriculums on the schools pretty much stay the same because you have a constant flow of new people coming in. You know what I mean? To where you want to keep it some kind of uniform to what you're teaching, you know, in your beginner class. You know, advanced class, that's something that I feel like should always evolve, always be evolving. But you know, these guys, it's different. They're, you know, this class, it's being very, very specific on how we're attacking things. And again, the things I'm teaching too, like I don't just like I make sure the stuff that I'm teaching, I've watched it in
you're saying
live
that's what
in
you
competition. I think that's something
watching
that
tape and watching it live.
Because listen, there's so much fun. There's so many fun techniques that you see in people doing, but you know, I look at effectiveness and efficiency, and man, there's a lot out there that people put out there as far as content that's not really efficient. Like, I don't even know that I would teach those competitors anything that doesn't have more than like a 60% chance of working. You know what I mean? If it's something that's low percentage, what am I even? Yeah. I'd be wasting their time to be teaching them that, especially when I can, like, if I had the option to teach them a scissor sweep or how to pass reverse X. I'm never going to teach them how to scissor sweep. I'm going to teach them the reverse X every time. You know what I mean? Like, it's again, it's just a totally different dynamic on how they're learning and what they're learning.
Yeah. It's interesting to me, like what you mentioned about the ghee stuff too. So you've been training for, like, I was in high school when
2006.
you started training in
2006. I'm old. I'm 42. Yeah, I'm old, man.
But I'm wondering, what do you think it is about Nogi that made it more popularized than ghee in the modern jiu-jitsu game? It seems slow. Like
here's the thing: is you want to look at things at the highest level, right?
Yeah.
If you look at no-gi worlds and you look at gi worlds at the highest level, you got a very different style of matches. You know, other than Mikey Musumeci, who's really had his way with that division, you're getting a lot of advantage win matches. You know what I mean? Close to nothing. 3-2 matches, winning by advantage, 2-2 advantage, 50-50 stall, you know what I mean? Where no-gi, you can't do that. It's very difficult to hold on, man. It's very difficult to stop that motion. So that motion is fun. And I think that's why no-gi is so much more fun to watch. And you see things like EBI and ADCC or just these, you know, so watched and so loved. You know, even have you seen a quintet and a gi yet?
Oh, no.
Right?
Yeah.
It's because probably something like Fight Pass looks at the demographic and what people are watching. And if you're an MMA fan, you know what I mean? Like, are you trying to watch Rumble Johnson in a gi? Yeah, you know what I mean? Or would you rather see that animal trying to, you know, tear somebody up in no-gi, or rather than somebody hold him and stop him from being able to move, you know? And again, I see it's still going to take a lot to get it out to the masses. I think it's really good having stuff on Fight Pass. don't get me wrong, I'm a huge flow grappling fan, man. Huge flow grappling. Flow grappling really is to our demographic, the really niched in on the jiu-jitsu market.
Yeah.
Whereas Fight Pass is a much broader frame because you have a lot of MMA fans who will watch that stuff, and they get huge ratings. The money's very good when you're fighting for UFC Fight Pass.
Yeah,
it's very good. Because they have that, that backing. Look at how successful Submission Underground is. It's a very good example. Now they've been getting much more, I don't want to say competent, much better jiu-jitsu, much higher level jiu-jitsu guys in, whereas before it was a lot of MMA guys. These last two have been, a bit the MMA guys, but there's a little too much of the MMA guys who, I don't know, it may have appealed to. You know what I mean? It's appealing to masses having those guys and pull them in. But, for like the jiu-jitsu guys, we were all like, God, why don't we see, you know what I mean? There's so many other good guys we could have put in there that are really good at jiu-jitsu. But again, Sug was able to grow, and Submission Underground were able to do these things because of Fight Pass, man. Yeah. Chael, having Chael as your guy. Like, listen, how many people do you think probably watch it just because Chael's doing it? You know what I mean? He's probably getting 10,000, 20,000 views just because it's him.
Yeah,
you know.
Sure.
So,
it's insane that you can grow such a big following in BJJ and kind of become known by like some MMA guys. Like, it's interesting. Like, the only people I know that I can casually talk to that don't do jiu-jitsu that know who Gordon Ryan is or John Danaher is,
right? How
are
insane.
MMA fans. Yeah,
right. Other than that, nobody knows.
No, it's crazy.
Nobody knows who they are. We're in this little, whatever, 3 million people niche sport where we're famous amongst ourselves, but nobody else knows who the hell we are.
It's funny, man. Well, let me ask you this: what got you into jiu-jitsu? That maybe like there's plenty of martial arts out there, especially at the time. Like, I know boxing was pretty big around that time. That you had like Oscar De La Hoya and stuff.
Oh yeah,
you know what I mean. What made you choose jiu-jitsu?
So my a very close friend of mine, Steve Hutchinson, had been training at Ricardo Almeida's and was a 2-stripe blue belt at the time. He had put down some mats. It was like a friend where we hung out all the time. Yeah. I was like 26 at the time, and he lived at his grandmom's house, had some mats in the basement, and came over and he was like, dude, let's wrestle. I'll just show you some things, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Showed me a key lock, showed me like a stack and guard pass, something like that. And I had wrestled since I was 4. I wrestled from when I was 4, still was doing tournaments till I was about 20. Not in college, just doing Mawas and stuff like that, just staying active in wrestling till I was about 20. So I had like 16 years of wrestling. He had a couple years of jiu-jitsu. Again, jiu-jitsu is very different. Rolling with a white belt, blue belt in 2006 is much different than rolling with a white belt, blue belt now. You know what I mean? They're much more advanced. So I was able to pass his guard, submit him, stuff like that, and I was like, man, this is pretty fun. So fast forward a couple months, and Ricardo Almeida's second black belt, Steve Bongiorno, close friends with my friend Steve, said, I want to open up a school or start a class in Berlin. And my friend asked me if I could show up so that there was at least some people on the mat. Yeah. So I brought my 2 cousins. I knew what jiu-jitsu was because I'd been following. My friend did, and he had taught me a few things, and we went there. And he had said it was at a karate school, did a little seminar. And it was just going to be open 2 days a week, 2 night classes a week. That was it. So I signed up. I was my student number at South Jersey is 1.
Yeah,
I'm literally the first student, first black belt at the school and all that. And dude, that honestly, it's no crazy story. That's all it was, man. He brought me out there. I dug it. We had a nice little group that we started with, and my 2 cousins are students number 2 and 3. They signed right up with me. They still train. They're still brown belts. So they take some time off, but they're still in it. But dude, that was it, man. And then to be in that lineage too, like the Ricardo Almeida lineage at that time, like, dude, Ricardo was still fighting at that time because he was like just getting back into the UFC.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, it was when he had taken that break and then was coming back. So it was cool to be a part of like that association then, and then yeah, man, it kept growing from there. And once I started with the commentary,
yeah, tell me about that. Like, how did you end up getting like your first commentary gig, dude?
Do you remember the PGL, or is that way before your time?
No, definitely before me.
Okay, it was like 2012. So I've been doing jiu-jitsu for a little bit. I want to say I was maybe a purple belt at the time, 2012, probably purple belt. And a guy at our gym started a professional grappling league. Now, I'm going to say in 2012, other than Ultimate Absolute, which if you didn't see Ultimate Absolute, you ever see Ultimate Absolute?
No, man.
Check out Ultimate Absolute. It was a super bracket in 2011 or 12 that had Andre Galvo, Buchecha, Rustam. I mean, loaded up in a room in New York, just mats and chairs around, and it was cool as hell. So he wanted to do something. He acquired a ring. Or no, there was a ring at the karate place that he had cross-trained at, and he wanted to do this thing where it was going to be 3-3-minute rounds with judge's decision if there was no submission. Guys go back to their corner for a minute and come back out. He had a little 8-man tournament with like two super matches.
Rule set too.
No, it grows on you. It's not it.
I feel like that might be more.
It was a cool idea. I don't know. As somebody who's watched every rule set, every kind of time limit, every kind of 3 minutes is not a lot of time to work. Yeah. It's why I do 3-minute rounds for the competition class, so that you have to keep hustling and doing things and keep moving.
What's your favorite? Let me ask you this: like, what's your favorite to watch, and maybe like what do you think your favorite one to compete? Or like have your prepare your guys.
Fan, dude.
Yeah.
I've been an ADCC fan for a long time, and then to get to experience it there and like coach there and be there, I like the rules. I like how hard it is to score. I like the time limit of the matches. I dig that rule set. Don't get me wrong. I watch EBI. I watch everything, man. If it's jiu-jitsu and it's on, I'm watching it. But if I had to pick a favorite, it would definitely be the ADCC style. I even like how it's half points, half not points. I like how once you're to the finals, it's a longer match. I like everything about that. Mm-hmm. Yeah. The only thing that I wish somehow you could push stalling into it, push a stalling rule into just jiu-jitsu in general.
Yeah.
Because here's the problem is that other than no time limit, because you're going to have to engage at some point, there's no rule set. There's rule sets that will be able to push action, but people are going to figure out how to win in the rule set and stall if they have to, and game it and stuff like that. And I get that. I get it. I tell people in the competition class, the reason we do things, the reason we teach this way, the reason why we have to take into account percentages and is if you're doing this for a living where your next check or the size of your next check depends on winning or losing, then the rule set and how we play it is extremely important. Mm-hmm. Extremely important. And as you say that, how many times have you watched DBI and watched somebody go to overtime and look like they didn't have any idea that this was even going to happen?
Yeah.
Like right? You sit there looking like they're looking over their shoulder like, what's he doing? And you're like, bro.
Oh, man.
Yeah. You didn't prep for this? Like, I get agitated just thinking, man, you didn't even really know the rules when it's so important to how it is. But yeah, while I watch anything, ADCC is definitely my favorite style.
Yeah, that's awesome. What do you think about the EBI overtime?
Yeah, it's cool. Just overtime?
Well, yeah, just that part of the rule set with the ride time.
I dig it. Hey, listen, it's hard to. I like Golden Rule. I like EBI, dude. I'll be honest with you, man. It's fun to prep for EBI overtime when you have somebody doing it and getting ready for it. You know what I mean? Yeah. Like, not for nothing, that kind of stuff really helps with regular back defense and armbar defense and stuff like that. But no, I dig it. Dude, listen, I really enjoyed and I didn't think I was going to the only overtime, the EBI overtime one, where it was just overtime, the Ethan Crowlinston one.
Yeah.
Where it just started on the back or started on the arm. Bro, that was awesome. I absolutely loved that. That was cool. And I wasn't sure how I would like, but me, man, it's jiu-jitsu, and it was people I knew and people I liked, so it was entertaining.
No doubt. Oh, that's awesome, man.
Yeah.
So, let's talk a little bit about the gym here. So, we're in Studio 84. This gym hasn't even been around a year yet.
Dude.
How did you meet Guy and kind of like become a part of what this amazing like place is, man?
Yeah. I'm not sure when I exactly met Guy. Like I said, both of us have been around the game for a long time. Guy before me, I'm pretty sure he's been training longer than me. But our lineage is he was under DeBlas and at Catone later on, but he was under DeBlas, who is a Ricardo black belt. Mm-hmm. So while we were in the same like family or association, we didn't see each other too much, but he was always competing. So I would see him at things like that. And then he started coming to 6 a.m.s to train. Again, that 6 a.m.s just kind of was, competitors like to do it. And he came and did some Saturday classes. I used to have very, very aggressive Saturday classes at South Jersey too, when I was doing the Saturday sessions over there. But then I had the Toys for I used to do a tournament called Toys for Tots tournament.
That's awesome.
And it was entry fee was a toy, unwrapped toy, and a spectator fee was an unwrapped toy. So everything was donation based. We had we would get like 150, 160 competitors. So it was really cool. We did it like 3 years, and then it got difficult for me to keep running it. But anyway, I invited Guy to be in one of the super matches. I would have a bracket that was a super match, and I invited Guy. 2 of the 2 big years I did it, I invited him. And both years, man, he brought like 400 toys. Just truck. He's just bags and bags and bags of toy bringing him in. Super cool guy. So
that's so awesome, man. It seems like both of you guys have this thing about you where the philanthropy thing is just it's a part of your ethos.
Yeah,
it makes so much sense now. Hearing that, like that's how you guys met. It's like, damn, dude, no wonder.
Yeah, the Toys for Tots, man. He brought in so many toys, so successful. I had almost 900 toys like 2 years in a row. It was really cool. But I got to know him better with that. And then, like I said, he would come and he would train Saturdays or 6 a.m.s with me. And then Corona hit. And that was in what, March?
Yeah.
That everything kind of got shut down?
March 2020.
It was in March. And then he started he had one of the secret rooms, you know what I mean? And I had guys that needed some work. And we would venture up there I think it was in Tom's River, maybe. I can't remember the location where it was, but he invited us up there, man. And we were, I was bringing my guys up there. I made a few pop-ins there. Just a secret room where everybody was able to train during Corona for a little bit. Dude, and then he hit me up one day, man, and he said, yo, do you think we can meet to just talk? Think about opening a school, and I was absolutely flattered that he was like, I respect your opinion, and I'd like to ask some questions. We met, man, and started talking, and he was really trusting in me to like asking me, a lot of questions about stuff. And again, that was, to me, it was really cool that somebody like respected my opinion that much. You know what I mean? To ask me and invite me to see the place, even when he got the building. Come peek at it, tell me what you think of it, design wise, and stuff like that. And then we started talking. Dude, I'm trying to think. I might have even said, man, if you want to run a pro class there, I'd be more than happy to do something with it. And dude, it was getting closer and closer to the time, and we're like, all right, man, let's try a pro class. And he had this place built. Brad, I'm going to say it was from the time we looked at it.
Like looked at the building
to looked like this. I'm going to say almost 3 weeks.
What? Less than a month?
Bro, he sent me pictures. He sent me pictures the week later. And it was pretty much almost everything done except the mats. And I was like, oh my God, how in the... He's like, oh, no, I'm serious. I want to get this going. And it was done in 3 weeks.
I can only imagine your jaw just dropped.
When he sent me the pictures, this was an empty shell. Nothing. Yeah. There was a giant office in the middle here. Like, this was totally different.
What was it before?
Oh, man, I don't know. I have no idea. But this was all closed off. And then there was a big office right there. That was all open in the back other than a little bathroom in the back corner. Mm-hmm. He completely redid this place. Completely. Mm-hmm. That is a new room back there. The closet was made.
Talk about a gifted dude.
Oh,
man.
right? and to look this beautiful.
Right.
So we said, all right, we'll start doing some pro classes early, breaking the mats. People can train, get people knowing the studio name, and not for nothing, like he went all out when he did this. You know what I mean? It's beautiful. The Studio84, dude. Everything is logo. Literally from the CBD to the bath bombs, they got Studio84 on them. You know what I mean? Dude. And we started doing the pro classes, man, and people started showing up like right away. You know, this was, I want to say, late August and maybe early September. So we were like, dude, let's just start doing the pro classes like right now. And we were just doing the same thing Wednesday night, Saturday morning, and dude, people were coming to it. And so it was getting and you want to know what was funny is then he called and he asked me about, he goes, man, I really want an everyday instructor that's like a good black belt that can, you know what I mean, that can teach along with Guy. You know, Guy's taught a ton, but I don't think he's ever been the main instructor. You're talking kids classes, teen classes. So it's a lot for somebody to handle, you know what I mean, especially right off the bat.
Yeah, definitely.
And it's funny, we talked on a Wednesday night, and then a Thursday morning, I had a text from Combs about, you know, give me a call, I wanted to talk to you about some stuff. And, you know, Combs was in the middle of like a tour of the country, you know what I mean, going to Texas and Florida and training and stuff like that. And was just asking what the training was like up in Jersey. You know what I mean? Hey, what's it like up there? And I'm like, man, hold on a second, because there might be a good opportunity here, and hook them two up. And
so you're how Guy and John met.
Yeah.
Whoa.
Yeah. I met John at not to get off the subject, but met John at the, you know, hold on, I'll finish the story with the school real quick.
I'll ask you about
so
John.
So then those two got hooked up, and it was like, all right, man, this is really coming together nicely. And man, this don't even open since October 1st.
Yeah.
And not for nothing, you saw the boxing class tonight. Okay, hold on. Other than, all right, forget me. Combs, you know, ADCC vet, ADC trials champion. Now he's got Danielle Kelly teaching the women's class. You know what I mean? Ranked number 7 in the world. Combs ranked number 7 in the world also. Danny, the boxing coach, Murphy. Oh my God!
I've taken his class,
bro.
I loved it.
What an amazing instructor! Like, he's an accomplished boxer, but his skills teaching boxing are out of this world.
It was such a good class. It got me. I was worn out, and he was demanding that I was still precise. I remember I was like trying to throw this like wild punch because I'm like, oh God. He's like, relax, be precise. Don't worry about power right now.
Just a solid coach, man.
Dude, so good.
And then the Muay Thai coach.
I took his class too. I can't remember the dude's name. What's his name?
Oh man,
I'm putting you on the spot,
dude. I forget everything when I'm on the spot.
Yeah.
But dude, man, it's amazing. Like the coaches that he's been able to put together for here, you know. And again, that's testament to him, like going out and finding, the best of everything that he can find.
Yeah. And then Tatiana, of course, is like doing the nutrition stuff.
And not for nothing, look what she did with Steve, dude. What she did with Steve and basically turned him into Captain America within a 2-month period.
I just called him that earlier.
Right?
Today.
Dude, she literally now listen, he was always, in good shape, looked pretty good, but man, she thinned him out and got him thick again like that, man.
Insane.
It's amazing what she can do. But yeah, man. So. And then once we started this, man, it was, once Guy started and everything started picking up, like, dude, the kids' classes are filled, the teen classes are filled. You know what I mean? There's just people in the adult classes, the boxing. I mean, he's getting ready to, go get another building, like a second location just for the boxing and Muay Thai, because there's so much of it.
That's insane, dude. It seems like every time I come, and I usually get here pretty early, or like I come on like off days, it's always packed.
Yeah.
And it's Corona times. You know what I mean?
You want to know what else he did that I don't travel around to a lot of schools, so I don't know a lot of other people. I've literally been to a handful of schools in my entire life just because of, this is my schedule.
Yeah.
Shannon is hiring somebody like Shannon to actually like be the like the
glue
administrator of the place.
Together, yeah.
Dude, somebody came in and asked me and Guy how to sign a waiver, and me and him looked at each other like, oh my God.
Yeah.
I didn't realize anybody was going to ask me that. You know what I mean? Like she's she's what she does here is amazing. Just as an administrator, awesome. It would be a bunch of knucklehead dudes running this place if it wasn't for her.
Yeah,
she really does an amazing job. So, dude, Guy literally just surrounded himself with a bunch of amazing people, and it's just really showing here, man. You know,
that's awesome.
And then having people like Sophie, you know what I mean, coming over here to train. Like, dude, she. Like her and her family are just awesome, man. Her and her dad are just here constantly. Dude, have you seen her teach?
I've not seen
Sophie
my
teach.
God, I've seen
dude.
like some
She's
stuff
great
on Instagram.
Instructor.
I believe it.
Yeah.
She's about it. Like she is on the mat with Nicky Rod till they're cleaning the mat.
Every day.
Blows me
That's
away,
why she's gonna be a champion. And it's why she'll have my undivided attention.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean?
Because
she puts the time in, man, and she puts the she what do you call it? Definitely shows me, you know what I mean, that she wants to be here. So, you know what I mean? I'll do anything for that kid.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
that's awesome, man.
So talented. Man.
It seems like you're really cultivating a culture of, you know, even like I'm sure there's some people on the mat for the pro class that aren't, you know, trying to be world class people.
Yeah,
they're just
for sure.
we're all in here to just work.
Yeah,
like we have a respect for the game, and I kind of want to touch on this too. Your classes, like I've been to a few jiu-jitsu gyms in my day, dude. The way you teach is different than any other instruction I've ever had, and in a good way.
Thank you.
I don't want to compare you to my coach because I'll get my ass kicked. But I will say the style in which you teach. I was describing this to you like moments ago before the camera was rolling, but. You know, when I first started, like when I was a white belt, I'd come into the gym. Maybe like I had a long day at work. It takes me like 45 minutes at least to get to my gym. You know, I get in there, I put my gi on, I put my rash guard on, whatever.
Jeez, you're still 45 minutes from your school.
Yeah,
God bless you, man.
Dude,
God bless you.
I love jiu-jitsu.
Yeah.
I don't need to be a professional to convince anybody. Like I'm about this sport more than most things. My guitar and then like my gi. You know what I mean?
Awesome. That's awesome.
But yeah, man, I remember like I would get to class and like some days, you know, my coach would, you know, do instruction like, hey, you know, we're gonna do this and this is how you do it. And then I'm with my partner and he's like, all right, everyone, you know, get it, drill it, you know, slap, you know, everyone on 3. And then I'm with my partner and I'm like, dude, you gotta go first. I have no idea what the fuck he just did. I forget. You know what I mean?
The aspect of showing. Gotcha. Okay. Yeah. And again, so I don't know if it's a Ricardo Almeida Association thing because I'm trying to think. I used to do classes up at Ricardo's, but I can't remember if that's how it was. But my instructor, Steve Bongiorno, that's how I was taught. You know what I mean? The step-by-step process. Yeah. Now, the thing is that once it gets advanced...
Let me say it so that maybe I didn't convey this the best way for people to understand. Once you show the move, you have like your students do the move. Like you have, you know, 2 ukes doing the instruction. And then you have everyone line up and you walk them through it before you're letting them drill it on their own.
Correct, yeah.
It's awesome, man. There's such value to that. Like I feel like so many gyms should be adopting that, man. It's huge, especially for a casual like me, you know?
Here's the thing, too, when you're talking about advanced technique, because I do know that usually in advanced classes that I've been in, they don't walk you through the technique. Majority, they feel like you should be level. I'm the complete opposite, where there are some specific details in there that I know I've been the person sitting there watching in a gi training. Your head's going elsewhere. I worked earlier. Oh my God, I'm so hungry right now. You have so many things going through your head that when I said it's imperative that we keep that thumb forward when we're pushing the ankle down, I know that that's something that can slip. So when I'm walking you through it, at least I can remind every single little part of that detail at least once. You know what I mean? And I think doing it once where you're feeling it, it gives you a little better, idea of the mechanics and everything. Just a little better, because I don't know. And again, I've taught so many basic classes. You want to know what's funny? Is other than once in a while doing an advanced class, I only this is the first time I've been like an instructor of professional classes, other than for like a short 3-month period before COVID at South Jersey. We had opened up a third mat room and we started doing it there. So I've only been able to teach these type of techniques, these more advanced and very specific techniques, since just recently.
Yeah.
Other than that, I've been teaching very, very just basic jiu-jitsu. And in my 6 a.m. sessions for the pro guys and the athletes in the Saturdays I used to do, it wasn't as much technique based as it was work based. I need them drilling. I need them doing 30 seconds from this position. I need them getting out of these bad positions. My time was spent focused on that, and then just specifically with the individuals that I'm working with. All right, this is how we're cutting past here. This is how we're getting to the back here, and not so much instruction in a class.
Yeah.
You know?
Well, I feel like you meld that with this. Like before, like after that, after you do the teaching portion, which I love. Maybe it's not every single class, but for every pro comp class I've been in, it seems like you have a very concise way where, all right, we're going to show this, and then we're going to show a move that goes in line with this. It's all related.
Yeah.
And, you know, in my gym, we definitely stick to that. But I feel like I've heard other people mention that there's some gyms that it's like, all right, we're going to do an arm bar from, you know, mount, and then we're going to do, you know, bow and arrow choke from the back. And it's just like, what does this have to do with each other?
Yeah.
Kind of thing.
With the pro class, what I like to do is I like to do one thing from top and one thing from bottom. You know, we're going to start getting back into more stuff from standing. Honestly, the classes, once it's over like 16 people, which it hasn't been 16 people in a while now, it gets it's just not enough room in here to finish takedowns and stuff like that. So I pulled myself away. That's why I just do the upper lower body entries, nobody finishing. But when this room gets bigger, or if we ever do it to where we're going to cap that class off at a specific number, then we'll do more stand-up work at that time. But I like to be able to give, and I only do 2 techniques for the week. So Wednesday and Saturday, you're getting the same techniques. So if in a month period, I can have a competitor gain 8 techniques that aren't difficult, that are very high efficient, and that are very specific for what they need, I would rather them learn those 8 techniques than 20 techniques that are
like random.
You know what I mean? I'd rather be very specific in what they're learning. And with this top position, again, we've only been open since October, really. So I'm nowhere near done just guard passing yet.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And we've gone through some, you know, daily Hiva, reverse daily Hiva off an inversion, X, body lock, double under, pressure passing. You know what I mean? Like we've hit so many things so far, and we're not even close to being done. But I think doing that and only giving 2 techniques and nothing that's extremely difficult, you know what I mean? To where when you're, and the big thing I say with the competitors is when you're not in this class, when you're in rooms that are with other people, let's use these. Let's work on these. Everything I'm doing is I've seen work. I know it works. You know what I mean? It's just a matter of now drilling it. Very difficult to hit a technique on 2 people who just learned the same exact move.
Yeah.
Very difficult.
Definitely.
You know what I mean? Very, very difficult. I see it happen all the time, but it's still a difficult thing. So that's what all the other classes are for. Let's practice these specific things for those classes. You know?
Definitely. And it's so interesting how you guys seem to. It seems like, you know, you can talk about like your policy on this. In fact, it seems like guys very open and like, yeah, you know, everyone come in, but you are constantly having outside talent come in here. Like me, like I live in PA. I drive 2 hours to come here, you know, once a week sometimes. And you guys are always open arms, like, oh, Brad, what's up? You know what I mean? It's so good. And I'm constantly seeing people where it's like, oh, dude, you're here. What the fuck? It's crazy. Like, why are you
It's flattering.
Here? It is. It's amazing how you and I, you know, I've been in. It's crazy how, you know, I've been training for like 4 years, but I've met so many extremely high-level people, you know, like that are Henzo affiliates, like the New York guys, and, you know, like so many. I'm really close to 10th Planet Bethlehem, so I know a lot of those guys. Dude, it's crazy how close I am to all these people.
Yeah, Thor's been in here for Wednesday night class.
Damn,
yeah,
dude,
Thor came in. Yeah.
He was at the competition.
He's
the
awesome.
Fuji comp that I
he's so talented. I love that guy.
Yeah,
he's coming to train. And again, it's so flattering when you get a message saying, "Hey, I'm going to come in," and you're like, "Man, I know this person is driving from far away."
Yeah,
like I hope it's it fills they're satisfied with what they see, or at least learn something.
Yeah. I feel like
new.
you don't even need to hear it from them. If you see them a second time,
yeah,
they're here because
they're
here because they have something to get, man. It's amazing. It's so amazing, man. So let's talk about that a little bit, like about the school. Like, what's your policy on new students? Do you have like a week free trial? Like, what do you got going on for that stuff?
So here's the thing, and it's actually probably good that this is on a podcast right now. So we are going to be shifting that up. And it's not letting people in by any stretch of the imagination, but we are going to start a program that's just for the pro class. So the one thing that is cool if I talk about this.
Yeah, please do. I want to know. I want to know, bro.
the one thing is that we love having everybody here. It's what makes this amazing, which is special. But for me as a coach, I don't focus on anybody's progress other than my guys.
Yeah, of course.
You know what I mean?
Of course.
Like, there's a lot of other people in the room, and don't get me wrong, I help adjust technique, stuff like that. But I'm never going to tell you what I think about your game because, one, it's not my place. I don't belt you. You know what I mean? I'm not that person for you. I don't know if you're here because it's a tough room or because you enjoy the instruction, or both. Could be both.
Yeah, or maybe
whatever it may be. I'm not
reconnaissance.
I'm not interjecting anything in unless it is asked or you're not your mine.
Yeah,
you're part of our
if
school.
My coach
you're
said that I'm his. I'm like, that's my coach.
So the one thing that we're going to start offering, which I think is unique to the this industry, is for a fee a month. I believe it's going to be in the $60 range, $60 a month. If you want to fly our flag and be in this competition room on two days a week and do that, I'll put my time into you and I'll tell you what I think. If you have a match coming up and you want my advice on it, I 100% will tell you everything that you need to know about the person and what you need to do to beat them. I'll make sure that you're getting your training partners. If you do notice when things are switching up and I'm telling groups to switch, you'll notice that my competitors, I'm pretty much feeding people to them. It's because I want to make sure that they're getting the best rounds every time that they're here. We'll start doing that kind of focus. If you want us to corner you, we'll be there to corner you. The one thing that we won't do is belt you unless you ask us to do that. We don't want to take anybody from their teams or their squads or anything like that. But I think we represent something unique for competitors that they can't really get elsewhere. And we don't want to steal students or anything like that. So if you like what's happening here and you enjoy this environment and you compete and you want to, you want our advice and you want our help, fly whatever flag you want. You know what I mean? But if you're paying that fee and you want our help, now, I mean, you 100% got it at that point. You know what I mean?
That's
once you're
crazy,
a member, right?
$60 a month,
right? Okay, so that is a fair number. You're probably the first outside person that we've said that
cheap, dude.
number, right? Well, because we understand that most people are already paying $150 or whatever it may be to their school right now.
Yeah, they're a member at other gym.
You know what I mean? We are going to start throwing a fee on it here soon, again, because we have some big things coming up for us that we just can't talk about just yet. I think I've talked to you.
Tease it. Come on, tease it.
I think I've talked to you about it before, but we have some things lining up in the next few months that are going to be even bigger for this competition team. We're not going to wait. I think we're going to start doing this stuff in February though. But that or and start charging a drop-in fee, but we'll never stop people from coming in here. We wanted to build it up. We wanted people to see what we have to offer, and now that we have a value on it, we're trying to be fair to people. And if you want our help and our instruction, we can do it for a nominal fee. You know what I mean? That
rate is insane. Anyone out there that knows like any of the names that you just dropped, you're going to consistently be able to train with those people. And you get to have, You're basically doing.
What is it? I believe
practically
it works,
doing privates.
It works out to be $7.50 a
it's
class.
Insane.
Yeah,
that's insane.
Yeah. So we're going to be announcing that soon.
How much
so
is the Flow Grappling subscription a month?
$12.
Oh, I was gonna say, I don't know. I don't have it, so I.
$150 a year is what I pay for Flow. $150 a year is what I pay for Flow. I think I have 2 accounts. Ridiculous. That's how bad I am because I won.
That's
but yeah, man. And again, people might not want my advice or anything like that, but I really think that from watching so much high-level grappling from a commentary perspective, to where it's not like I'm just watching matches. I'm sitting in a crowd, or I got it on my TV and I'm drinking and doing the other things I'm doing. Dude, when you do commentary, if you're serious about it, dude, you're locked on for however, you know what I mean, for these matches.
Yeah.
I've done close to 80, if not more than 80 events, over 3,000 matches, high-level ones. I've done, I don't know, close to 20 fight to wins. East Coast trials a few times. You see East Coast trials a few times. BJJ Fanatic stuff. Then, a lot of stuff for a lot of different organizations, and I'm watching how to win in each rule set.
Yeah.
Like I'm getting to see things,
the most effective,
and I have to pay attention to it.
Yeah.
And that's what kind of made me obsessed with it, and obsessed with watching and seeing how people win, and seeing, that, man, if I just don't teach these things and just teach these things, well, I'm saving a ton of time. You know what I mean? I'm putting a hell of a curve on the learning for it. And again, I think what we offer here is unique, and I think that we can help a lot of the people that are in here. And again, it's not anything rude to not help the people who are in here. But again, they could be coming in here because they just like the training. They're not looking for my advice. You have your own instructor.
Of course, yeah.
You have your own person that belts you.
It's their place to ask you for that anyway.
Yeah. And it may piss off some school owners and whatnot. God, it's going to sound so rude, but I don't really care. We're doing something here, and if this person wants our attention and is willing to pay for the service, I'll pay for their attention. I don't care about belting them. I don't care if they have, Studio 84 on anything. I don't care if they're praising me, or I don't need any of that. If you pay the money and you want our advice, we'll give it to you at that point. You know what I mean?
Yeah, definitely.
If not, we're just going to start charging them just a drop-in fee. More than anything, dude, it's getting crowded. And the thing is at 24, it's really crowded. 24 people, it's really crowded in
no
here.
doubt. How many we have tonight?
I think it was like 26 or so.
It's
a lot, and I love it. Don't get me wrong,
dude.
Don't get me wrong. I love it.
It's crazy how quickly you scaled. Your class size to the space. Not even open a year, dude.
Which is, dude,
it's a testament.
4 months. 4 months. That's what I'm saying. So, that's another factor why we're kind of speeding up the process of, okay, maybe we should do this soon, because it was our ultimate goal was to do that, to offer a competition membership.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And have that. And again, it can be private if you don't want your coaches to know you're doing it. I don't care. I ain't gonna put anything on, you know what I mean, social media or not, if you want our advice or our coaching or anything like that. But if you do, man, and coaches out there know that we're not trying to steal anybody. We just offer something unique that I don't think every school can do. You know what I mean? I don't think, this is also a business. You know what I mean? You have kids classes, you have teen classes, you have your things that make money, and a lot of times at the end of the day, it's hard for something like the pro and competition to
even exist.
You know what I mean?
It's so funny. Like so many people have told me that we're almost preparing your top level guys for these high-end competitions and stuff. Mm-hmm. You're not making money on that. You're losing money on those endeavors. Yeah. Those are passion projects that are a product of the school,
Yep.
It's interesting.
And that's what having Guy as this is his place. Like, dude, you want to talk about a passionate competitor. He's literally home because of his second back surgery, because the back surgery that he had in June, dude, he has back surgery in June. He gets the bug to compete because he's in here training every day and he's feeling good. The lineup that he went against to come back, all right? First, he flew to Brazil and did that match at Nascimento down in Brazil. Almost beats Nascimento. comes back, and then his 4 matches at Subversive are William Tackett, Dicey Gato, a guy from a local guy, but Pan Champ, stuff like that. Oh, come on, Max Jimenez, ADCC vet, world champion,
yeah.
and who was the 4th? Oliver Taza is the 4th. Like the 5 matches that he came back from back surgery were all ranked dudes.
Dude, it's insane. You'd have to be the Hulk to be doing that shit,
right?
Dude.
So he's back. He got his surgery yesterday.
I can't believe it.
Yeah, but so his passion, for the competitors is what really everybody can thank this even being possible for, because that was something that, again, not a lot of schools push stuff like this, and he, is definitely setting a trend for, and already adding a leg lock class, already adding a competitive women's only class, like already adding just a few months moving. What we have already. And yeah, man, we're lucky. We're lucky to have a general like that who's willing to allow this. You know what I mean? Because listen, he could add another kickboxing class. He could add another, class to bring in even more paying customers. That's why we're thinking this pro thing. You know what I mean? Start bringing some money. And again, with the whole pro thing, there's big stuff coming up in the next few months. Just can't talk about it until it's actually
keep an eye out, baby.
Oh yeah. it's only gonna get better. And then in 2022, that building right on the other side of this wall here, he's gonna be able to add like 4,000 square feet of space.
Oh, so we're knocking the wall down?
Nah, it's just gonna cut a hole. I think this will become like the kids' room. And that will be...
So that's a bigger space.
Yeah, 4,000 square feet in addition to this. Yeah.
How many is this?
Dude, I want to say it was around 28, maybe, total, 2,800 square feet around there. Yeah. I could be wrong on that. But yeah, man, so it's just going to keep growing. Honestly, it grew, I think, a lot quicker than at least I thought, like watching schools grow and watching, seeing somebody open a school and how long it takes. Like, this is ridiculous how fast this is moving, It's awesome, man. It's really awesome to see. And as much as I'm kind of on the fringe, like, I'm still a part of this. Oh, yeah.
You guys are my friends, you know what I mean? I know a lot of guys that are in this room.
Yeah.
Like a lot of you guys give a shit about, what I have going on and stuff, man. It's so cool what you're cultivating here, man. There's something different about this room, bro.
That's what I always say, man. It's just, I don't know, man. It's just, it's something different, man. It's good ambiance, man. Good people. The competitors are tough, man. It's just,
it's
cool.
Insane too, because you think if some random people just walked in here and they saw Nikki Rod and Sophie fighting, they'd be like, "What is going on?
Why are you letting those two fight each other?"
It's so crazy how the respect for your fellow competitor on the mat here is awesome, man.
Yeah.
Like sometimes the ego gets involved, and I haven't personally seen that here at all.
Yeah, it's hard. I'll tell you, it's hard to have an ego. It's hard to have an ego in this room, man, because you get straightened out real quick. You know what I mean? Like, yeah, I mean, shoot, you'll realize just trying to elevate somebody that, oh man, that guy knows how to keep his base. Oh geez, and he knows how to pass guard. Oh God, he's on my back. You know what I mean? Like, and that's a white belt doing it to you. Yeah. It's funny, man. It's this room's definitely an ego buster. But and what's cool, man, is just, every week it's filled back up. It's filled back up. It's filled back up. Like, that training is not for everybody, man. Yeah. It's just not. And it's fine. It's, that's why there's every other class. You know what I mean? That's why there's a schedule with ghee classes and Nogi classes that you can go to. This class, it may not be for everybody because of the intensity of the rolling, because of the level of the people. Like, man, if there's days that people walk in here to know that they're just going to get their ass kicked from the time the class starts until it ends. Like, you may not even get to a positive position the whole time, but man, they just keep showing up. They just keep showing, and you want to know what? It's why they're going to win. It's why they're going to win. I don't know. It's hard to explain. Then watching them compete, You know, Sophie, this week, and I wasn't there. I was down in Miami with Combs. Yeah. But, you know, her dad sent me the matches, and I'm watching the matches. And, man, her aggression, fought all boys. Fought all boys, man, and took gold, and then took the other dude to overtime, man, and took gold and ghee, and then Nogi took the boy to overtime. And understand, too, for, like, somebody like her, like, when she has to go against a boy, like, understand that that boy is going to do everything in his power not to lose to a girl.
Of course. How old is she?
14.
Dude.
Right?
Insane.
So for her at 14 to be able to mentally get through that as a 14-year-old girl, literally going out on a mat to fight a boy, granted they can't punch, but she's got a boy who's trying to strangle her, and not only to keep her cool, but to win, you know what I mean? Win by submission is just, it goes to show you how hard she works. You know what I mean?
It's amazing, man. I feel like hearing that story, just objectively, it's such a good testament to jiu-jitsu as an effective martial art for anyone that might be, you know, she's a small girl, right? Like, what does she weigh? Like 100 pounds?
100 pounds. I think she said she weighed in at 102.
Insane, man. It's jiu-jitsu transcends, like, it's not a Nicky Rod sport, you know?
Right.
It's for everyone that is willing to put in that grind, man.
Yeah.
It's awesome,
man. And we're lucky to have a bunch of people who and again, I got to give a lot of that. I got to give a lot of that to Nick, man. Like, they, you know, the people in here know that he started, you know, a couple years ago with no experience, and in 14, 15 months was, you know, on the podium at ADCC.
Yeah, Dragon Slayer shit.
Yeah, man. Like, you know, he shows you that, you know, everybody in here got to, you know, just see that, dude, if you just work hard, man, and you're doing everything you can to be in the toughest rooms that you can. And, you know, we're lucky enough to be able to simulate that here right now. And I think that's unique as well as, you know, I don't think there's many places, many jiu-jitsu schools that can house somebody of that level, you know? You know, I definitely wasn't confident with me solely being able to help Nick win ADCC by any stretch. That's why I knew I had to push him up to New York to get with those guys, because I knew that opportunity was there. What's funny that's happening here is, you know, we're almost getting to that spot where this is where you come when you need to prep, you know? But people don't see that, you know what doesn't get on Facebook and what nobody sees on Instagram is that other than these two pro classes on Wednesday and Saturday, is that those crew of guys that we keep talking about are here every day, either at 11 or noon or 1 or 2, and getting all their rounds in. Like, it's every day. It's not just on pro days. Those guys are doing that with each other every single day, on top of having to lift, on top of eating right, on top of doing everything else. You know, so this here, and it's happening here, you know what I mean? And it's cool. It's cool to see that, because again, there's not many places that can do that can house, you know, champions like that without having to go anywhere. It's very difficult, but I think we're on the right track. And I think starting this competition, you know, competition squad sort of is going to make that grow even more.
That's epic.
You know, where
shit,
this is the place to be if you want to compete in this area, you know, or at least having this here to help you. You know, don't get me wrong, we still need enemies to fight, so we can't have everybody come here. We still need enemies, but yeah, man, it's cool, and I can't imagine, because I honestly feel like if we had 4,000 feet of mat space right now, that there would be 60 people on the mat on these nights. I really feel like that.
Yeah, man,
is where it's going to be.
It's crazy to think that you're growing, that you grew it so quickly, so well, and it's like pandemic times, right? Like,
yeah.
How has the quarantine stuff been affect? Like, I know Jersey's getting, like, the administration is definitely pretty shitty here. Like, all things considered, you know. In PA, we don't have the best situation, but like I hear terrible things about Jersey with like, different businesses getting shut down.
I don't know if it's our area, but dude, nobody has bothered us a bit, other than telling us to keep it down from the people next door. That's it, man. We've been lucky where it hasn't really affected. I don't know if it's because it's a more conservative area.
Yeah.
People have said before it's a more conservative area. It could be why, but man, I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't even know but we haven't had any problems with it really.
Well, how has it affected your life? Like, what kind of like pros? Like, maybe there's some like hidden like gems that came out of the quarantine for you.
So, for me, dude, before quarantine, dude, I worked a lot. Just at my regular business, you know, what's nice is my regular business only really consumes 40 hours of my week. Like, it's a basic work week. I'm lucky that I have a general manager who I don't have to be there, and he can take care of things. I'm always there, but I have a guy who allows it to where I'm not having to work extra and everything like that.
Yeah.
He's a great guy, Matt Fritsch.
And if you have an emergency or something, he can cover your ass.
Yeah, or hey, I'm flying here on Friday because I got to go coach somebody, or I'm going to ADC. You know what I mean? Like,
of course.
Things like that. So I'm very lucky on that aspect of it. But I also taught a lot. I taught. In addition to that, I was teaching, I think it was about 12 classes a week at South Jersey Jiu-jitsu. So when COVID hit, there was no teaching. You know what I mean? The school shut down. And dude, you know, I'm married. You know, it'll be 16 years next month. I have a 11-year-old. And dude, I spent a lot of time away from home, man. And when I would be home, dude, I'd be tired. Because I'm always, you know what I mean? I'd be teaching all day Monday, all day Wednesday, you know what I mean? So, and teaching early mornings on Mondays and Wednesdays. So Sunday nights, I got to be in bed early. Tuesday nights, got to be in bed early. You know what I mean? Friday nights, I got to kind of watch it because I get to teach all day Saturday, early morning.
Yeah.
You know, Saturday at school all day long. And when COVID hit, man, dude, I got so much time back that I never had before. Because you're talking, I've been doing jiu-jitsu since 2006, and I became obsessed immediately.
Of course.
You know? So when jiu-jitsu, and again, it's just a lot of time with you know, my wife and my son that I never realized before that I didn't have. So what's crazy is I technically only teach 4 classes a week right now. I teach 2 6 a.m.s and then the 2 days here. This wasn't bad for me. The coronavirus, I know it affected some people horribly, and I feel terrible about that. And I'm definitely one that was, you know, on the side of people being able to, you know, run their business if they needed to, because, you know, it was bad what was happening. And yeah, I was in it the whole time. Like, my business was essential, so I never closed for a second with that. I still had my regular job, just the jiu-jitsu had stopped. But when it came time to open back up, the 6 a.m.s, I love my 6 a.m.s at South Jersey. It's just an amazing group of people, and always has been. And I just absolutely love teaching the 6 a.m.s there. So I couldn't wait to get back to my 6 a.m. crew. I had a night crew that I absolutely loved as well. But again, I taught a lot of basic classes for a long time. And this was an opportunity here for me to have my own curriculum, to like, you know, not only my own curriculum, but my own way to run the class, how long I want the class to be, how I want the class to operate and all that. And I had that freedom. And don't get me wrong, I had the freedom to teach whatever I wanted at South Jersey too. I still do. It was more just, hey, we're working this position, you know, guard, whatever, and I would just keep it within that. But I this was the first opportunity I had to really focus on competition, on a competition style class, and to share everything that I've, you know, been watching and having all this time over a long period of time, and not just, hey, you know, I could teach an advanced class here because he's away, or, you know, I need you to cover, I'm watching this or whatever. So for me, this gave me a ton of time back, but I'll tell you that I probably learned more jiu-jitsu in that time than, and it's no knock on anything. It's just the amount that I worked, that time span. I learned so much jiu-jitsu that I could not wait to start teaching the pros. Now, what it also does is going from teaching 12 classes a week to just 4 classes a week is my prep for these classes and my 6 a.m. classes, dude, I put much more prep time into as far as reviewing, watching the stuff live, making sure that what I'm teaching is correct, or there's some nuances that work better when I've watched it live. For 6 a.m. because I still do teach a ghee 6 a.m. class on Mondays, making sure that I'm giving the ghee guys, the same thing that I'm giving the Nogi guys, just from a ghee standpoint, where, again, it's effective, efficient, it's current jiu-jitsu. But, man, it gave me a whole new, and I wasn't getting burned out with jiu-jitsu because we were right in the thick of it. And I was, dude, literally when coronavirus hit, I was just at Kasai with, there's a Kasai where I cornered Nick Combs and Dante Leone.
Yeah.
And then went to, I did the commentary for BJJ Fanatics, Gordon and Downey, and then the coronavirus hit. So it wasn't it wasn't like things were dying or I was annoyed with it. It's just
you were already on.
Dude, we were already doing good, and then everything just shut down. And like I said though, because I've been asked, hey, you gonna come back and teach night classes here or do another day or something? And right now, man, I'm happy with the time.
I'm state with everything.
With family and with teaching at South Jersey and with teaching here. I just like the amount of time I'm spending places. And because, listen, I still have to, travel to coach once in a while. I still have to, like this Saturday, I'm going to be gone from, probably 7:30 in the morning till, 5 at night coaching. You know what I mean? And I can't wait. I love it and I can't wait. But it's easier to do that when I haven't had to teach 12 classes all week and then teach real quick on Saturday and then drive over to the thing.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
It's almost more meaningful.
And not for nothing, too, like, it's really nice coming in and just teaching one class.
Yeah.
Like, teaching multiple classes.
Like, back to back.
For 10 years.
Yeah.
It's like a long time. Yeah. So to be able to really just focus on a single class is just...
Like, maybe it got to be a chore then, and now you kind of, like, fell back in love with the process because you can really polish it.
I'm teaching 3 different... You know what I mean? And teaching this is basic, then I got to teach this for this, then I got to teach this for this. So I'm doing so many techniques. But yeah, man, I'm just really, really digging this spot that I'm in right now with everything. And I mean, we've talked about adding on Saturdays just maybe because I get a lot of people ask me about teaching in the ghee. And don't get me wrong, ghee, I loved ghee. Like, there was a time period where I didn't even really do Nogi for like 4 years, like just did ghee because I was able to dominate in it, so I just loved it. So people have asked me about doing ghee classes, so I might open up Saturday a little bit when Guy gets out of the building, and maybe start doing a teen and kid competition style class and a ghee class. But for now, man, I'm like really happy with my schedule. And like I said, if I gotta fly to Florida or I gotta fly to Texas or I gotta do something, I do something I just put out the other day is doing seminars. Dude, I've never had time to do a seminar. I would love to do a seminar. Like, I could teach 3 hours worth of technique,
bro,
like that.
Somebody
easily.
Get this man
easily,
man.
But I just time, you know what I mean? It's just time. And privates, dude, I've done a handful of privates, and like, for me, just like, and I don't mean it to sound any kind of way, but like $100 or an hour at home, it's $100 isn't worth it. You know what I mean, for me. But a seminar, 3 hours, getting, you know what I mean? Making some decent money on it. I would do that once a month. But like I said, I don't even do privates just because it's the time, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
The time away, I just don't, is what it is.
Yeah, dude. I definitely. So we got a couple comments. I just want to take a look if we got any questions.
Is it Steve again?
No. No questions. No questions. Just people trying to get shout outs. Oh, shit. All right, bro. So I want to talk a little bit about some things that aren't jiu-jitsu.
Yeah.
So the other day I found out and because of your hat, obviously, I figured out that you're a Second Amendment aficionado.
Big supporter.
Awesome, man.
Big supporter.
So, dude, in Jersey, not that friendly about the Second Amendment around here.
No. I mean, I think it's better than some states, but it's definitely not the greatest. When I go, my range is in the range I normally go to is over in PA, Ready and Fire. And it's funny when we start talking guns or stuff on there, I'll ask about something. They're like, man, that's not legal in Jersey.
Yeah. That's so funny.
What was it? There was an AK, and I was like, oh, man, is that ready for Jersey? And they're like, no, it's not ready for Jersey. There's so much you can't own here. But I don't think it's as bad as some other places, but it ain't friendly, that's for sure.
Let me ask you this. So this is a legitimate question that I have. Like maybe if I ended up coming out here more often than I already do, because like generally speaking, like since the quarantine hit, more often than not, I'm in Jersey 1 day a week. Yeah. Just because of the way the cards were kind of falling for me. What is a good, by your recommendation, like everyday carry kind of situation? Because what's the limit? You got 10 rounds in a magazine?
10 round limit, yeah.
What like I don't know all the laws, but like
you can't carry in Jersey.
I can't with my concealed
Nobody
carry.
can.
No one can?
There is no. You have to be a cop.
You're a cop.
Dude.
Right.
There is like, there may be a way that you can, but like even if like you're a woman and have had restraining order stuff like that, like you still aren't getting issued a concealed.
You got to be like some kind of like armed security guard. Or
I
some
believe
shit
so
like that.
because I don't even think even if you have a concealed carry in another state, you can't carry.
Yeah, I know
Jersey.
the PA one doesn't propagate here.
Nope.
That's why I had come here with my shit before.
Yeah.
And then I found out, I was like, whoa.
Do you carry when you're in PA?
I usually
do. What do you carry?
I have my Glock 23 chambered in 40. Sometimes I'll switch the barrel out and chamber
so
it
you
in
take
9.
you'll put you carry a 40 cal. Good for you.
I do. Well, and ammo's cheaper right now.
Yeah,
too,
yeah.
And along with that, it's just another thing I heard. I have questions about this, and you live here, so maybe you have the answer. Hollow points.
No, God.
Not legal here at all.
No, not at all. No, not at all. Right? And listen, I got a gun safe full of them.
It's so funny. I have an inside joke with my group. Like I don't know if anyone watching right now has a Discord. You can check out the link in the description. I have a Discord server. Like it's like a little forum where we chat about topics related to my podcast, but we have a little gun chat in there, and there's kind of like an inside joke we have going on because the way I stack my mag, I call it the party mix because I have like frangible, like federal, like hollow point, this, that, the other thing, whatever.
What do you just put them in army tins or no?
No, like in my mags,
gotcha.
They're randomly like sorted. You don't know what kind of surgery you're gonna have to get after shooting.
That's great.
Yeah, and hopefully I never have to use it, but it's a fun joke.
But just in case you do, I got 4,000 I can use.
Yeah, it's like, man,
just in case.
You do not want to get hit by anything.
Yeah, man.
Like, you're gonna get hit with different things back to back. The surgeon's gonna be really weirded out about who you had trouble with.
Now, of your handguns, is it because like you cluster the best with your 40?
What's that?
Do you like cluster the best with your 40? Is it that why you use that?
So I got the 40. It was my first gun.
Yeah.
That Glock, and then I kind of
Glock was my first.
Dude.
It's a Glock. I have a G36. It's a 45. It's my best clusters.
Everyday carry for the 45.
So
That's
it's
gangster.
funny. I actually bought for if concealed carry ever did go down. I have a little LCP Ruger.
Nice.
Shoots 380 auto.
Nice.
Bro, that got some.
How small is that?
Dude, palm of your hand.
Nice,
but again,
man.
it's shooting a 380 auto, which is just like a small 9, basically.
Hey, man, that's
like
probably,
a short
that's
9.
all you need in a shit at the fan situation.
Yeah, but it's so small. I got it as a concealed carry. I'll tell you, I also have a Smith & Wesson MP22.
Nice,
dude.
The first 45 I ever had, I've sold it since then. But it was a small MP Shield that I was my concealed carry. It was chambered in 45.
Was it really? Dude, I like that you take the big cal out there, man. You ain't messing around. You ain't looking to injure.
Well, here's the thing, right? I had this conversation with a buddy of mine that lives in Alaska, right? And he said around here, no one carries anything less than 10 millimeter because the most likely scenario is you're not going to shoot a person. You're gonna need to shoot a bear.
Gotcha.
You know what I mean?
That makes way more sense.
Yeah. So you want the stopping power. It matters.
Could you imagine that 22 just bouncing off its chest?
Oh, dude. I've had this conversation with a bunch of jiu-jitsu guys too. It's like if there was one animal you would not want to fight. No, being a black belt in jiu-jitsu, what would it be?
All right, on land.
Yeah, on land.
On land. Okay. Yeah. So I'm gonna say now. I would have normally said either a polar or a grizzly. Because did you ever see the movie, what was the one with Leonardo DiCaprio?
Oh, The Revenant?
The Revenant. The bear attack scene, I think, was probably, do you remember that? It was probably the most realistic, what I think a bear attack would look like, because there was no rhyme or reason or fashion to it. It was that just clawing, picking up, throwing down, scratching, just that complete chaos of an attack. But, dude, when I was in Disney last month, I'm going to tell you, if you ever seen a hippo not in the water, bro, these things are gigantic and they are fast.
I've seen them swim.
And
you ever seen a hippo swim?
Yes, bro. So there was like 6 of them. We had went to we were in Animal Kingdom early in the morning. Sun was out, dude. Like 6 hippos sunbathing. Dude, these things were gigantic.
How much they weigh?
Oh, you're talking 3,000-4,000 pounds. 3,000-4,000 pounds with the jaw that could just.
I've seen them eat watermelons, just whole.
Dude,
one
and
bite.
that's not exactly just like one bite swallow.
Yeah.
Dude, imagine what they could do to you if they actually just turn their head and just bit. Like, it'll probably be quick with a hippo. I don't think people were going to think I was going to say hippo for the animal, right?
That's a good animal,
right?
You're making me rethink.
When I saw it and realized how fast that they run and their actual capabilities, dude, just scary. But a bear would probably be the worst possible scenario.
I think
so I don't
honestly,
think it would go away.
Because here's the thing. I think I climb a tree, I'm away from the hippo.
The bear's
gonna
coming
get
right
my
up,
ass.
dude, and those son of a bitches can climb like crazy.
Nightmare shit.
I don't know. Did you see the one? Did you see that one where that cat was following the dude? The mountain lion was following the guy on the trail. Dude had his cell phone on it.
Oh,
How
yeah.
he kept his cell phone on that thing, dude, and that thing would just sprint up to him and then just stop. Oh my god, I was having a heart attack the whole time.
No, man. I don't know.
Dude,
Did you hear
I
the
don't
story?
mess
The
with
one,
nature,
the
man.
one dude was like on a run or something. He strangled a mountain lion that tried to attack him.
So
It must have been like an adolescent one. I think it was like it wasn't a.
or he's
fully
got good
grown one.
jiu-jitsu. Could have been an arm drag, back
I
take.
don't think he was a jiu-jitsu
right?
practitioner.
Yeah,
He was just like
oh, did it the old school way. I'll kill you. Gotcha.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Yeah, man. No, shit's wild, man. But yeah, like so that's what. Back to the other conversation. You went on a tangent. Good answer. The hippo. You know what I mean?
I was super impressed when I saw one out of the water and how big it actually is when it's like in front of you, and I was like, wow, that thing can.
Dude, and they're vicious. Like I've heard things about hippos being like not nice creatures.
No.
Yeah.
No.
But the bars around that cage were like more than an inch thick or some shit.
Dude, well, no, they put them down in a hole.
Yeah.
They know they ain't
concrete.
climbing.
Yeah.
So they don't even need the cage. They just dig it out, and you just drive by and look down at them. You're like,
That's pretty neat.
whoa, man.
It's probably so. You were with your son at that.
Yeah,
at
me
that
and my
place?
son do it every year. Yeah,
you were
wife
probably
lets us
looking
do the
down there
boys
like you
trip.
don't even know.
Dude, and they're never out. They're
power.
never out sunbathing, and they
Yeah.
were all out sunbathing, man. All of them, and they were just monstrous.
That's insane, dude. That amount of power, dude. Like it just crush you. Ugh.
Without even thinking.
About it.
Without even
Or a
thinking
rhino.
it could do.
Rhinos are mad too.
Yeah.
Fuck, I didn't even think about those African animals.
Right?
I'm thinking about the North
Dude,
American
imagine.
animals here.
Could you imagine being
An elephant? No,
just walking? Dude, there's another one. Hey, man, piss one of them off. They're going to catch you.
Especially
Just
got the
hit you with
tusks,
that.
bro. This shit's going straight through. No, thank you. No, that's why
I'm not into
that's why
fighting
we carry
animals.
45.
Exactly,
That's why we
exactly.
carry 45. My God.
I am not into fighting animals in the least bit. Yeah, I just saw a video the other day where it says kangaroos, if they're near water, they try to drown you. They'll lead you to water or their prey, like they were doing it with dogs. Drag, goes out into a little bit of water, dude, and then it uses those little freaking arms.
Yeah,
because they're all jacked upper body.
Yeah, I've seen a video where he has the dog in like a headlock, and a dude punches it in the face.
Dude, that was hysterical. I thought that was fake too. I'm trying to look on, is that fake? And I don't know. That thing squared up pretty good with him.
No,
but yeah, man, that was trying to hold it underwater. I'm like, dude, what a violent. That's nature, man.
Nature's
violent as it comes.
Yeah, for real, bro. But yeah, so let's come back to the. I got a scenario. I like to bring this up to my gun guys, right? So we got a zombie apocalypse scenario, right? You walk up to the trunk of the car. There's a magic car. You get 3 guns and two bonus items. When you open that trunk, what's in it?
All right, what kind of zombies we talking?
All right, let's go with you ever play the Left 4 Dead video game?
Yeah, you know what? Hold on, it doesn't matter. I need something that's going to work no matter what. I'm taking an AK-47, probably a Romanian, and I'm going to take.
Do you have one?
A Glock? No. I have 2 friends who collectors of the AK-47s. I would like to add an AK-47. I have a bullpup, 12 gauge Black Aces. I have a
wait, your bullpup shoots 12 gauge?
12 gauge bullpup.
What?
Yeah.
I need to shoot this thing.
Oh yeah. Bullpup shoots 12 gauge. My regular shotgun is 20 gauge, and then I have one that I just got, AR-15. That's 20. That's 22 again. So my son, I wanted something that he can fire and have some fun with. And 22's got no kick at all. But I do want to add an AK-47. But I would want something that I know I could use no matter what the situation, and that Glock will fire dirty. It's easy to say, you know what I mean? It's it's reckless. There's no safety. It's just going to be there, and it's going to fire. The AK-47, the same thing. And then I would definitely go with something for distance. I'm going to say like an AR-10 so that I can hit something from a mile, I ain't hitting nothing from a mile, but from 100 yards at least, I know I could pick them off as they're coming. And man, 2. How many do I get? 2
bonus items. So
2 bonus items. Machete, 100% machete. 100% machete.
I don't know, man. I took you for more of a battle axe kind of guy.
Yeah, really? It's just I got to think of how I have to carry it.
Gimli from
yeah. Yeah, I would definitely go. That and just to clear some distance, man, I would probably get the flamethrower.
All right.
Yeah.
I like it.
Yeah.
I like it. I'm
Flamethrower is gonna
with the war paint right here.
Yep. Got a bunch of zombies I got to get by. I'm just gonna set them all on fire real quick, or take the AK and just
calm down. Let's go. All right, man. Good answer. I think this is the first time I heard flamethrowers. Definitely an effective one, right? Because
for sure,
if this zombie's on fire, he's bumping into the next.
The next one. I just need to keep my space, man.
Let's go. That's awesome, man. So tell me about that 12 gauge bullpup. I didn't even know that was even a thing.
Black Aces. It's an FD12. Correct. Yes, American made, USA made. Yeah, made out of Florida. And dude, it's nice, man. It's 12 gauge, 5 rounds. I'm pretty sure it's pinned because the magazine can definitely take more than 5 rounds, but it only holds 5.
Jersey
so they definitely got it pinned.
Yeah.
At 5, but dude, it's nice,
it's semi-automatic?
Man. I shoot. What's that?
It's semi-automatic.
So it's just.
Oh, so it's pump action.
Pump action.
Oh, right. Interesting.
Yeah, nice though, man.
I want to shoot that thing, man.
Oh yeah, dude, of course. Oh man, when we do get together at a range, we are gonna have some fun, man.
I think we can make a little video.
Oh yeah,
I think I have some ideas.
That's cool.
We'll talk. You guys just need to hit that subscribe button so you get the notification. That's awesome, man. So yeah. So what's the reasoning behind the shotgun? What made you decide that was going to be?
So and honestly, and people could say you're paranoid or whatever, but I wanted stuff that if I ever had to have guns, that I had stuff that I could hand to my family. And that would be effective to clear space and get to a car, get to whatever it may be.
Yeah, so
it was another reason that I wanted. And you want to know what's funny? Every time I've talked to a cop and they say, "Dude, the best thing for home defense is honestly a what you call a pistol grip shotgun." Every one of them says the same thing. You don't have to have aim. It's easy to hold. It's it's not too bad of a kick.
It's controversial. I've heard a lot of, and these are like my gun guys that say this. A lot of them say the AR is a better home defense weapon, and it's controversial, right? Because you're going through walls with that thing.
Yeah.
If you miss.
Yeah.
But like their theory is shotguns are more complicated to operate than a semi-automatic rifle. You know what I mean? You feed
Probably,
the magazine,
yeah. So here's the thing too: is like I keep all my stuff loaded.
Yeah.
It's in safes, but it's loaded. So if I had to hand stuff out, at my house with load, I probably have how many magazines loaded ready to go? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8.
Oh, you don't have to. 10. You don't have to let people know.
Oh yeah. yeah. Know that it's going to be about an hour before I need to start loading clips. And my house will be Swiss cheese by the time that happens. But again, when I bought firearms, everything I've gotten is with. Don't get me wrong, I think they're fun as well. But I definitely think what if I'm in a situation where I have to hand these off? What if I'm in a situation where I need food?
Yeah. For sure.
And another thing with the AR being a 22. Is something that they do say about the 22 round is, so I have an MP22 and then the AR I have is a 22 Sport again, so my son can fire. But if you actually look at like survival situations, something like a 22 is a round that is easy to carry a lot of. I mean, my God, you can carry 2,000 rounds almost in your pockets. You know what I mean? And it'll kill small animals. So it's something that can help you with eating, you know what I mean? Getting food if you had to actually kill for food. And, it's definitely enough to keep somebody away at a distance if you start firing at them. But it's the most practical round to actually be in a survival situation. Again, which you never hope to ever be in, but... it's funny too. Is I had somebody say to me one time when they were asking me, we were talking about guns and stuff like that, and they weren't a gun person, and they asked me about ammo, about how much ammo do you keep? Like, just keep a couple boxes. So I said, oh no, it's thousands and thousands of rounds. And he was like, what are you going to do with all those rounds if you have no food? And I said, well, that's the problem, is that if I am in that situation, your food is my food. You know what I mean? Anything I want, I'm going to just take.
And anyone that wants to impose that on you, you can stop.
I can stop that from happening. You know what I mean? So I definitely look at it. And listen, I hope you never, like you said, I hope you never ever have. But I also have a savings account and a host go because because you need it in the future. You never know when you're going to need it in the future. Like, it's just like anything else, man. I'd rather have it and not need it than need it and not have it. Because, man, imagine if you're in a situation where you do need it. And my wife was not really a gun person at all. But when you give the theory of, listen, if somebody comes into this house and it's you and Rocco or them, I mean, do you think begging for, asking for mercy is going, you know what I mean? You don't get to make that choice. It's we win. You know what I mean? You come in my house, it's we win. So, that definitely, I think when you put things in that perspective, and when you have a kid too, it's just, you know what I mean? It's about protecting them.
Yeah. And I think kind of to touch on, like, you were showing your son how to like shoot that AR.
I haven't yet. But I wanted it I wanted it built so he could. So when it's ready, he can.
I've taken my son out and I show him how to properly handle weapons.
Yeah.
Whenever in the summertime, like I'll go to a bonfire. My friends have they live on farms. We have a good time, and I always show my son, like, here's the proper etiquette. And I feel like a lot the same. It's similar with jiu-jitsu, right? If you respect the martial art, you're not going to be as inclined to be a bully because you're like, no, this is a
understand the danger firsthand. Understand how you understand its power.
Yeah, but
and what it is.
If you let the movies and other shit like the news and the media inform you about how these things are and what they are for. You're gonna have a corrupted mindset about it.
Let me tell you, man. About 2 months before the election, I stopped watching the news completely. It's not allowed on in my house if I'm home. Put something else on the TV, Food Network, whatever. Just I can't do the news. Let me tell you, man, bro. You know what else I do? Anybody who's like negative on Facebook, I don't unfriend them, but I unfollow or just block them. Dude, you live such a more peaceful life, man, when you just...
Because you got other shit to worry about.
100%, man. 100%. You know? So, yeah, even with the election, like, I didn't know a ton about what was going on and stuff like that. And I said, I no matter what happens, I still got to hustle. Yeah. I still got to do whatever I got to do to pay my bills. Whatever it may be, whoever's in office, whatever's happening, I still have my things that I have to take care of. So I honestly just don't even care anymore. If it's not my family, my work, or jiu-jitsu, I really, really don't care about it.
Dude, it's like,
you know?
What, the Capitol got attacked?
Yeah. Yeah, exactly.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, my wife will say something about it and be like, God, it's crazy. Yeah. She's like, that's it? And I'm like,
I'll say, like, if it affects the stock market, I'm like, what you want? I'm up there.
That's your money. You got to, you know what I mean? That's the hustle.
Yeah, you don't see me with Fox News on.
No interest at all. In any of it. It's just jiu-jitsu, man.
Yeah, dude, seriously, man.
Jiu-jitsu, right?
I'll drink to that.
Right? Where else can cops and stoners get along?
You can learn so much from it, man. It's crazy how humble you become when you do this. Like, I'm trusting these people that have like almost nothing in common with me a lot of the time, right? Like, I listen to like crazy music. And I play games no one plays, or whatever.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And at the end of the day, it's like I just trusted you with my life, my limbs.
Yeah.
Fine. That's an intimate thing. And now it doesn't really matter, what names we're calling each other, because I know you're out. We're here to take care of each other.
Such a good environment, man. Such good people.
Like, the world at large could learn from this community.
Yeah.
I'd love to see more.
I think you learn a lot when you come into it. Yeah. Like, I think you see, like, maybe it ain't, you know?
Yeah. I learned, like, how I got into jiu-jitsu. Like, I had a little bit of wrestling in school, and then I was in the military, so I had, like, some Army combatives.
Mm-hmm.
But then I met my coach. I'm like, man, I could go do that right now. That's not what happened. I've been ever since. But yeah, man, it's wild. It kind of, man, there's something about,
man, what you said is I think what really makes or breaks to people coming in. Is some people come in and they see how vulnerable they are, and that's where the choice is made, where it's, I don't want to be that vulnerable anymore, or I can't believe how vulnerable I am, and I think it's better that I just don't think about it.
Yeah, man, that willful ignorance is very dangerous.
You know?
I think that's a really...
Can't tell you how many wrestlers I've seen. As much as people say wrestlers who do this, wrestlers do, I can't tell you how many wrestlers I've seen come in, state champions, high-level wrestlers come in, and it's different when you get humbled.
Heel hooking them.
It's hard. It's hard. A kid like Justin, you know what I mean? Yeah, you come in, you think you're strong, and then all of a sudden this little kid's on your back. You know what I mean? Hey, it's tough. Ego.
Yeah, man.
It's ego too, but I think there's so much fear. Yeah. I can't tell you. As somebody who's had I've been teaching since 2008. So imagine how many people I've had come in and say, "Hey, I'm taking my first class." Like, you're talking hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of people saying, "I'm taking my first class." Yeah. And they all start with, almost all of them start with the same line, in which I'm really nervous about doing this. Like, I've heard that line so much. And the biggest thing that I say is, when somebody comes in, I say, dude, know that every person on that mat, there's 40 people on the mat behind you, know that every one of them, not everyone, but I'm going to say 90% of them came in, said the same thing. I'm nervous to take my first class. You know what I mean? I'm nervous to be here. It's fear, man. It's that fear. Dude, the hardest thing about jiu-jitsu is getting there.
Dude,
is getting in the car and just driving there, man.
And it's crazy how you feel once you get there.
Yeah.
You're like, oh man, I had such a shitty day at work. What's up, Brad? Like, what's up,
right?
Man? And I'm smiling.
And
my whole day's been made right there.
Think about anything else when you're in that moment. Nothing. When somebody is trying to take your back and strangling you, there's no chance that you're thinking about a bill, your car repair, you know what I mean? Whatever you have to do the next day, I got to get up. Like, none of that is going through your mind. Your mind is, oh my God, I got to get this guy's arm away from my neck. Now I got to try to get my back to the ground. Now I got to listen. I don't know that there's, at least I haven't found it. There's, much else. I guess other sports are like that. I guess I'm just being partial to jiu-jitsu, but like my business partner, he plays pickleball, and I'm sure that's his release for him while he's in pickleball. I'm sure he's not thinking about too much other than hitting that ball and getting it back over the but
there's something about jiu-jitsu, the primal fight for your life thing is a part of it, you know? At the end of the day, we're practicing murder, you know what I mean? It's beautiful to see, like you have some people in here that aren't, prime athletes, that are kind of just casuals, people that, maybe walk off the street.
Brad, it's the majority.
Yeah. And it's crazy to see how their lives are impacted by jiu-jitsu in such a positive way. Yeah. Like we in my gym, like we had it's funny to see the people like, oh man, I'm undefeated on the street, and then they get waxed by everyone on the mat. And then, those are either the guys that wash out once they realize fighting's not actually for them, and they're fighting, crackheads or drunks or something, and that's how they're winning. Yeah. Whatever it might be, but once you're up against actual technical people, it's to your point, man. It's you got two paths here. Yeah. I'm nervous and I want to fix this, or I'm nervous and I'm gonna.
God, man, I'll tell you. And again, I started in 2006. I want to say there's only been one situation. Probably that's it. One situation where I thought I was going to have to use jiu-jitsu, and in the moment, in my mind, I wasn't scared. I wasn't nervous, to the fact where I acknowledged in my head that, dude, even though this dude is gigantic, dude, I literally know that he can't do anything to me. That he's way too big, that once I put him on his back, this dude's done. I literally had no nerves. And it could be what even stopped the altercation from even happening was me vocalizing, man, you don't understand. This is probably your worst case scenario for tonight. I'm probably your worst case scenario. And he could tell that I wasn't, you know what I mean? Yeah. Wasn't joking, and I wasn't scared, and it wasn't nervous. I was talking very straight face to him, and it fizzled out immediately. But it was crazy that in my head to actually kick in and say, dude, you ain't even nervous. This is good, and you know what you can do. You know that if we put this guy on his back, he's not going to be able to get back up.
That confidence is powerful, man.
Really powerful to have no nerves in that situation whatsoever. I was in my head, I remember realizing it and thinking, man, this is crazy to be in this moment and not even be nervous. Yeah.
Do you have any stories where you had to use jiu-jitsu in a real life situation?
I'll be honest, dude. I'm a big dude. I don't look friendly. I'll be honest. I drive slow, so I've had people in the other lane look to pass me and then look in the car and be like, hey. And just keep driving, you know what I mean? Never mind, maybe just mind my own business. I'm happy to. I'm happy that maybe I look intimidating or unapproachable, because I ain't trying to fight nobody, that's for sure. You know what I mean? Listen, for me to fight, you would have to either swing on me or really insult my wife or son. Yeah. And even then, I'm probably not gonna, you know what I mean? It would have to be a fairly serious situation for me to actually start swinging on somebody.
For me, it's the same thing. Like, you'd have to either have malintent towards someone I care about or myself.
I know too much about how it works to care to even be in that situation.
Just because you've done commentary for, like you said, thousands of matches here. You've seen what can happen. Yeah. You've seen injuries. You've seen what it's like to see a knee explode.
Yeah, ankle pulled out, arm broken, shoulder dislocated, choked unconscious. I understand, dude. I know what I could do to you. I don't want to do this to you. Yeah. Now I got to go to court. Now I got to get a lawyer. Nah, man. Like I said, dude, for me to get in a fight, I would have to be seriously, seriously provoked. More than anything, too, I could care less what anybody thinks. like I said, it just you could say whatever you want to me. It offend me. Call me any name in a book, and
I'm the same.
I care. I'm gonna go home. I'm gonna sleep just the same, and probably forget that you even said anything to me.
Yeah, actually, I got bigger shit to worry about.
100%. Yeah,
it's on your mind, man.
Yep.
So like kind of like we were talking about earlier about just that story of the guy from that Chinese place. That customer.
Yeah.
Man, people are so caught up with what they think, like, oh, you know, everything's wrong and I should do everything I can to fix it because my life sucks.
Yeah.
I should make everyone else's life sucks.
Oh, they're the worst. Dude. They're the worst, dude. Man.
I don't understand it, man. I wish I could teach those people what it's like to tap.
Yeah.
You know?
Yep. They give you a whole new perspective.
Dude, it humbles you quick, man.
Give you a whole new perspective.
But yeah, that's awesome, man. I think we're coming up here on 2 hours and a half.
Are we real? Are you kidding?
2 hours, 18 minutes.
Oh my God. Oh my God. I had no idea.
I told you, man. I know how to pull it out of you. But brother,
wow.
let's wrap it up pretty soon because I don't want to keep you too long.
Yeah.
Any shout outs? Any like last sentiments? Like what's in the future for Jay here?
Yeah.
Man?
So one, I appreciate you having me on. Really, it's flattering.
Brother, it's an honor.
My
honor to train with you, under you.
Dude, just the schools, man. Dude, Studio84, South Jersey BJJ. They're I think they're the two best schools in the area. I teach at them. I've trained at South Jersey. I just shout out to the schools. Me aside, go to them. They're amazing schools. Other than that, man, dude, nothing. We've got stuff coming up. We always have stuff coming up. We've got Naga this weekend. A bunch of people competing. Dude, then I got matches I can't even talk about yet. So,
my man.
But that's it, man, dude. If you want to book a seminar, hit me up. Yeah, I do want to get into seminars.
I do want to mention, like you just got offered to do some commentary for a thing going down in New York.
Yeah, dude. So I responded to him. Sam didn't respond to me yet, but hold on, let me check my message and see if he responded to me first.
Yeah,
because he asked me, and I said, dude, I'm 100% in.
Dude, so I'm trying to talk with Sam right now about getting lined up to be the guy doing the video stuff. So we are about to have a hell of a team.
Yes, and I just, it's so funny is as you're saying that, he did message me, and I know exactly what you're talking about right now.
That's awesome,
exactly
man.
What you're talking about.
This event's gonna be awesome.
Wow. Wow.
He's got quite the card.
Sam.
Yeah.
Whoa, I'm so glad I said yes so quick. Jeez.
Hell yeah, man.
I am amazed at what I just read. That's pretty cool.
I'm probably gonna be the one running that commentary booth.
Hell yeah. Hell yeah. Dude, jump on with me.
Maybe I will.
Right?
Maybe I will.
Yeah, man.
We gotta have Studio84 on a commercial break, I think.
Yeah.
That would be good.
Absolutely, man.
Hell yeah,
dude,
man.
What was I gonna say? Yeah, dude, and you wanna know what's funny is with the commentary too. Like I turned down a decent amount of it. Again, only because I distances and again financially, it's just not appeasing to me. But I'll tell you, Sam is an unbelievable supporter of this community, and I don't care what he's doing. If he asked me to help or be a part of it, I would always do it. Sam McHale is one of the, not only is he a great competitor and like a good instructor up there, a great instructor up there, but like, dude, he put on I think it was the Global Grappling, GGL Global Grappling League, which he had like Nicky Ryan at, and it was Nicky and Marvin Castell was one of his first, or at least on the card before. Definitely, so he always does good stuff. What he just sent me, oh my God, I hope everything good,
Yeah, I think I'm gonna have Sam on the show before.
Yeah, I would, man. That was that's gonna be a hell of a hype.
Yeah,
I feel like you beat everybody to the punch here on this one. But yeah, man. So a guy like that, man, I'm always down to make sure I support. He's always supported me too, always sharing my stuff like that. So big fan of Sam.
That's awesome, man.
Yeah.
So that was a great shout out to
Emma,
because it's kind of bridging our gap here. Let's if you could give advice to anyone who's being negatively affected by the quarantine situation in the jiu-jitsu community, what advice would you give them?
So dude, the biggest thing that I tell anybody, and I'm going to make it a bit broader than that, with jiu-jitsu in general. Mm-hmm. I think people need to do jiu-jitsu for what they want it for. You know what I mean? Like, you take advice from people who say, oh, you're to this, play to guard, you're to this, you should do more Nogi, you should do more ghee. Dude, with jiu-jitsu, you're paying for a service, and you're paying for it to enjoy it. You know what I mean? You're paying for what you're entertained for. So the biggest thing that I like to tell people is do what you like to do in jiu-jitsu. And if people are telling you to change and do things different, I mean, unless you're some wild, crazy, you're rolling crazy, you're rolling spazzy. Dude, do what you like to do with jiu-jitsu, man. I've watched so many big guys get discouraged because they roll with somebody who's lighter than them, and they say, oh, stop using all your strength, stop using all your strength. Well, I mean, it sucks being now the big guy who's being told not to do this, while the small guy can use his speed, can use his agility. You know what I mean? So, and again, it's you got to do jiu-jitsu. You have to do it because you love it, right? And I see so many people that start coming in and say they're getting bored with it, they're getting this with it. It's becoming a chore to come to class, just not feeling the way they did. And I said, when did you love it most? You were probably submitting people and doing everything you loved, and then you started getting lazy with it and started just not training as hard or what it may be. Dude, go back to doing what you like about jiu-jitsu. If you only like doing Nogi and you like playing top, bro, go play top Nogi every time you're going. If you're not doing this to be the best in the world and you're doing this because you like it and you're doing it to have fun, then go have fun. Don't care what anybody says. Don't care if they say, oh, you're strong. Say, that's again, I'm somebody who would just ignore it and not say anything. But dude, you have to do it. It's better to be doing this than not doing this. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? So if you're stuck in a rut or you're it's the coronavirus and you haven't been able to get into training, you're just going back or whatever, just, dude, do what makes you happy to be there. That's what it's for. It's for you to be there, be happy. You're paying. It's not like you're a paid athlete and they have to tell you what to do. Yeah. You're paying. You're going there. As long as you're not being a spaz and hurting people or anything like that. Dude, just train what you want, how you want, when you want. Don't listen to what people say. When even, don't get me wrong, people are going to try to give you advice, and it might be good advice, and it might be, but the moment that it stops becoming fun for you is when jiu-jitsu loses a lot of people. And I think it stops becoming fun for people when they're told to do something that they're not, and it's not fun for them. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? This is supposed to be fun. This is it's a self-defense. It's you're definitely learning still. It's just, I don't know. I feel bad. I feel bad for people who get bored with the sport and they're only bored with it because they're being told to roll a certain way, or you're being pushed down a different path. Yeah. Man, you're a paying customer, and that's another thing too, man. You're a paying customer. Make sure you're training somewhere where you're getting what you want. There's so many schools out there, man. So many amazing schools out there, and just because one school's amazing, you may not like it, and you go to another school that could be the amazing one for you. You know what I mean? Every school's not going to fit every kind of person. Just make sure you're finding one that you fit into, and do it how you enjoy it. Do it how you want to do it, because I've seen so many people come in and say, I'm bored with it. And I've never seen somebody who submits people on a regular basis come in and say it's boring. Yeah. But I think a lot of us, I don't know, feel bad or whatever, but man, if that's what you like to do, then go in and do it, man.
Hell yeah.
Weird advice, probably advice nobody's given yet.
Dude,
don't listen to what anybody says. Do it for fun.
Yeah, man. I feel like a lot of people need to hear that, bro. Yeah. But that's a perfect note to end on. Thanks again for coming on the show, Jay.
Absolutely, Brad. Thank you for having me.
Hell yeah, brother.
Peace.